Welcome, everyone. We are back. It is Super Millions, and it is a special one. It is it's actually called Super Millions 2023. This is episode 1, although January 17th it started. I will welcome in Nick Maimone, FU15, my man from back in the day. I haven't seen you in a while. It's great to have you on, and a pleasure to have you. I know you play this tournament and one of the top tournament players in the world, so an absolute honor to have you. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, man. Super excited to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned, this is actually episode 1 of Super Millions 2023. We mentioned before there will be a big leaderboard. We're going to go into that in a little bit. This is a kickoff for the show, although we will take a look at what is going to be called. This is very cool because now the leaderboard, which is known as the Super Ranking, this is going to be prizes awarded. It is not determined exactly what that will be, but I can guarantee you it's juicy. You know, GG does it big. They do it right. And if we take a look here at what is currently the standings, that is a look at the earnings and at what has been profitable for the players. Of course, Yuri, he is, very impressive. We'll dive in on later in the show with him and what he's done so far on this season as well as the past. And how about that Elky video? I mean, are you fired up? That's the guy right there, that new video for the season, my man. It gives me chills seeing Elky still in the game, still doing it, and obviously one of the crushers for life and a part of GG. So that was cool to see. And as I mentioned, the start here. What do you think, Nick? You feeling it? You feel the energy on that?
Man, I love it. The Super Millions is such a cool thing. It brings together, people just to compete at the highest level. And I love the fact that they're doing this cumulative yearly ranking, just really to encourage people to compete and really battle it out for the whole year. I think it's just adding the extra incentive is awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing doing it obviously for online, but there will be a live component of the same format with tracking P&L for players. So we'll talk more about that. But as a look today, 1.47 million in a 10K buy-in. Really, really impressive how the Super Millions continues to seem to gain traction. Prize pools get bigger. The world's best come out to compete, and you got to beat the best. That is the slogan of the season. It's something that is true. There is the biggest names in the game, and 319,438 coming for the winner today, and 44,000 locked up. So pretty cool. And I want to definitely talk to you about ICM and how you approach these final tables. I know you have 2 seconds in the Super Millions looking to get that title. 9 remain out of 147 entrants. Just a fantastic turnout for this, as we will go and dive in soon here as you take a look at the action. What stands out? I mean, for me, Yuri, 3rd final table already since January 17th when the season of 2023 kicked off. This is, again, very impressive considering there's only been so many weeks. What else stands out for you here, Nick?
I mean, that slogan "Beat the Best" is really good for this FT because these really are some of the elite best players right now. Several of these guys, Dorzbaliski is a great player. I battle with him every single week, oftentimes daily. And then, like you said, the Yuri has just been so impressive. Final tabling this 3 times in like a matter of 5 or 6 weeks, and I feel like he's really hungry. I really have a good feeling he's going to close this one out. But it's obviously going to be super hard with Adamo having a chip lead. The way he plays is so cool. It's like art, watching him and never knowing what he's going to do and trying to just watch him play and then try to figure out why did he do that, and just really having an open mind, being humble in what and realizing you can learn so much from everyone in their own experiences and their own style.
Yeah, some massive names. We will also mention Ike Haxton just had a massive PCA in the Bahamas. One tournament's got final tables and is regarded as maybe the best, if not one of the best currently in poker. He's been around for a long time, and it's fun to always see what he has up his sleeve. And of course, still 30 big blinds, plenty of chips to play, a couple short stacks. Adamo just seems to always have the chip lead, right? When he's in, he's either out or he's in with the lead, and that's what he's doing today. So let's see who is going to beat the best today. Let's dive into that final table, take a look at the action, and really exciting one. And again, Nick, thank you for being here. And we're gonna hop right in and look at the overlay. Look at the new feel, the new look. This is, again, episode 1, season 2023. Very exciting, very cool to see the new look and feel of the Super Millions, and excited to have all of you here. Let us know where you're watching from. We will have a giveaway for you as well. We're going to do a draft, Nick and I, for dinner. If you're up for that, Nick, I haven't seen you in a while, so we'll have to, next time we come, we can do we join up. We can do a dinner. If you're up for that, we can do a snake draft.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. And those at home, the audience, you will have either a $50 or $100 giveaway at the end of the stream. You can get a head start, hit the thumbs up, and then I will provide the info for you to join into the heads up, as we saw an early hand there with Jax take it down. And Nick, who would you say you've played the most with in this tournament series format?
I mean, I've played so many years with Yuri. I mean, and he plays this tournament every week. Obviously, as you know, he's final table 3 times. I played with him a ton. Played tons with Pedro, tons with Derzbaliski, tons with Ole. This guy Arseni is really good as well. He's won the Super Millions once. Very tough player. And then I think Bao got second in the 10 million version of this for a huge score. I don't know who he is. And then Mama Sherlock is also, guy seemed to pop up last year from Mexico. Was a very good player, very tough. I joke around with him in the chat, always asking him what's your name, and he tells me that he's just a recreational and plays for fun. But obviously, I don't believe him.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Adamo has in season 2, he had 7 final tables alone, and if I'm not mistaken, he has 4 bracelets, World Series of Poker bracelets, 4 already, which is just insane. And Oli Shemian, we just what a high profile final table. We didn't even mention Oli Shemian there, who has got a World Series bracelet, and really one of the best players I think of all time. Just seems to always get results, always get it done, and is just such an impressive player. So it just shows you we didn't even mention that name, and he is could be regarded as one of the best in the world in his own right. Someone I'm sure you played a lot with.
Yeah. Our apologies to Ole. Yeah, I don't want to take. He's an amazing player. He's very I would consider old school. I don't know how much I guess I don't know. Like some of these guys have just been getting it done for so long and are so naturally gifted. And I would say Ole really falls in the category. I've played with him live and online for many years, and he's just so gifted and just crushed the game for a long time. So yeah, he's no one to write off here. He's as good
interesting to point out. He in season 2, 2 wins for Adamo. And Ole Shemian had 8 final tables, 1 win, and the only one at this table with more experience and I would say a more impressive resume. Ike Haxton, 25 cashes in season 2, cashed 41% of the time, 12 final tables and 2 wins. So definitely someone you cannot count out at any moment. Ike Haxton is in top form, to say the least.
Yeah, man, Ike has got his own style. I really just like watching him play, seeing what his he has a brilliant mind, and he's just a really good closer. You talked about Adamo being a great closer and just really putting the pressure and maintaining his chip lead and building chip leads. But also Haxton's just a great closer. He's, as you mentioned in PCA, he won 2 or 3 tournaments down there of high rollers against the best people in the world. So he really just has a way to get it done. Yeah, it's gonna be a battle here. I mean,
for sure, definitely some of the biggest names in the game, and we want to do the snake draft. So I'll let you choose color, red or black. That'll be whoever goes first or second. Of course, Adamo with the big lead. So there's kind of a big flip here, and then we'll go 1, 2, and then 1, 1, 1 all the way down. The audience is going to get some extra names for the bonus. They're guaranteed a $50 giveaway for a competition at the end, maybe 100. We'll give them some players to sweat along with, and of course, we'll have our dinner sweat. So you choose red or black.
I'll take black.
Black, okay. And we are not going to see a flop here. And the seat-wise, Adamo, got nice position on Ole. Kind of a tough seat with the stack size. Yuri and Ole have to contest with Adamo directly to their left, which is tough. I mean, this is obviously not a lot of places to hide here in general, but this is I'd say Adamo's got a pretty good seat right there.
Yes. So I'm assuming Adamo took position as the chip leader on Ole and Yuri, which seems pretty smart. The second place stack is 3 to his left, Mama Sherlock. So I guess he's a little bit more unknown. So that makes sense for Adamo to take that seat. Seems like a solid strategy.
What do you think about the seat draw? Because that is a very cool feature. GG's got by far the best technology, best game. Yeah. What do you think? Because it seems like a huge deal, right? Like a big advantage to have it and get to kind of plop yourself in. Is that right? The chip leader gets the last pick.
Correct. Yeah, correct. So the shortest stacked, they get the first pick, and then the chip leader gets the last pick, and you can really use it to your advantage. It creates a huge dynamic of trying to predict who's going to sit where. And depending on the stack distributions of where's the optimal place to sit, it's definitely adds a whole new layer to the final tables. I remember last year when I final tabled one of the big ones, I remember Patrick Leonard was there and C. Darwin was there. And I think the guy who ended up winning it did a really kind of interesting move where it was very counterintuitive. He took a seat
Looks like a chop pot here. Sorry to interrupt you. Ace, king, ace,
Yeah,
king off. So
all
king
good.
does come, but pretty, yeah, no, each one had individual flush draws and they're going to chop it up. So no harm, no foul. So, okay. So you're explaining about the seat arrangement. You said an interesting situation, which it is very interesting. I'm curious to hear this. So
Yeah,
please.
so a lot of times you would expect the chip leader to take the last seat to the left or two to the left of the second person's second chips, but oftentimes they will take position on the person who they deem the greatest threat, or the person who's going to put them in difficult positions, or the person's going to open, and they want to have position to three bet them in position
Right.
and to take control. So it's very interesting when you see somebody deviate from that. Let's see.
We see a black flop here, right? So you're going to get that.
Yep, that's lucky.
Okay.
Lucky for. Yeah, so it's interesting when you see people deviate from that. And I remember this big Super Millions that I made last year. We were expecting the chip leader to take position on the second place stack to his left, and instead he took it on the position on his right, which was very like bizarre and surprising. He ended up winning the tournament even with the second place stack on his left, and just played a different game. He was a Russian guy. I can't remember his name, but it's interesting where sometimes you expect somebody to do something and they do the total opposite. So there's definitely a strategy. Some guys are more experienced or more thought out in how they select their seats. Other guys just kind of like click a button and don't give it much thought.
Yeah, interesting hand here against two of the titans of the game. We got Adamo Jack 10 suited versus Mr. Haxton Ace Jack off. So Ace Jack off in the lead, but with this sizing on this board, very tricky, especially with like stack size. I mean, he knows Adamo's capable, but it seems pretty difficult to try to hang on here. I would be shocked, right? I don't think there's really an answer for that bet, but nice hand there for Adamo, showing you power position and a strong bet, taking it down there.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. Adamo flatted there with Jack 10 of spades, which is I think completely standard play. And I'm very surprised he didn't bet the flop in position when Haxton checks to him on Queen 8-5 with the backdoor flush draw on the gut shot. I was expecting Adamo with chip lead to really always put pressure with that spot and always go for a small bet. And it was interesting. He checked back, and then when Haxton checked again, then he bet and took it down. But yeah, that was surprising to me already. Adamo did something different than I would have done.
Yep. Well, that's why this is fun, right? We talk about booth magic. Obviously, yourself such an accomplished player, but when you do see players do things you don't expect, it does beg the question on why they're doing it. Is it because of the player? Is it this just, it's different than early stages, right? It's the final table. Stack size are always interesting. So there's always a reason, and it is fun to try to guess what players will do. And if it's different than what you think, it's a good spot to look at. So as we go here to Queen 10 suited, going to open the button. Ace 9 defend, has the best hand if he's able to get the showdown, as Queen 10 suited decides not to bet there, and Ace 9 off has a winner. Let's see if they go for a check to side or maybe a small block bet, but I think that makes sense to check.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm also surprised by this. I would expect Dzwolski. I mean, he has a little bit of showdown with Queen High, so he's just trying to get to showdown. He has to think on the river there with the king. Does a bet accomplish anything? Does he ever get, let's say Queen Jack or Queen 10 or whatever to fold? Is he ever going to fold out Ace High if he bets and tries to represent the king? But I think he just tried to get to showdown. It is interesting from an ICM perspective. I mean, Adamo can just put a lot of pressure on the medium stacks like Haxton, Malinov, when Bao Ding and Pedro are so short. He can really put pressure on all the medium stacks to really run it over. And I'm going to expect him to do that, try to build a lead to like 5 million, and see if the other medium stacks will fight back against him or let him really run it over.
Yeah. And we will. So I assume you're taking Adamo for the first pick.
Oh yeah. I would be foolish not to.
Yeah, I am gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna go with Yuri and Ole for my next two.
Yuri and Ole. Okay.
And then you get now we go 1-1 the rest of the way.
That's a great double second pick by you. I'm gonna take Dzwolski. I really have a lot of respect for his game. He's very solid and just a great player. And he just always seems to have it in spots where you're like, no, he can't have it. Like he just always has it like in the big blind in the perfect situation. He's just a guy that always finds the hand and the best hand when he needs to. And I think oftentimes that can seem like luck, but really it's skill and patience. He's a very patient player. He seems like a guy who's got a really strong mental game and doesn't punt. I do want to say this about Mama Sherlock. I was going to say this. I take a lot of notes on people, and he's just a prolific raise folder. So he's just always min raising tons of trash. And I don't know if his opponents know this, but like he's opening like queen seven off, and like he's opening very wide in most spots, especially the second place stack. So if people are tuned into this, they can really just like 3-bet him small, and he's just going to fold. Like that's my understanding of it. And this kind of obviously makes sense that he's opening super wide. And it's interesting that Arseni flatted here. I think with ICM, I would expect a lot of guys just to make a tight fold here in the small blind with ace two suited with the two shorter stacks. What do you think there? Would you expect ace two suited to come in there for a call?
I mean, I agree. I think it's a little wide given the situation, but maybe that's a function of the player and what he believes how wide he's playing, which also could maybe he would go for a light 3-bet there. Out of position though. So it's yeah. I think I'm in line with what you're thinking. I will take Mama with the chips for 2.8 for my next pick. So I'll go there, and then it's on you.
Mexican Mama. Okay, I'm gonna take Arseni. Molinov, I don't know. I've never played with him live. I don't know who he is, but I know he's a very good player. I don't know too much about his backstory. I know he won a 25K Super Millions for like 660K last year. Seems like a good closer, so I'm going to go with him.
All right. Well, I will take the man Ike Haxton with the real heater on route. So I got the names. I got the household names on my side today for sure. I mean, you do have a Damo as a chip leader, so that feels good. And then you still get another pick here.
Yep, I'll take Pedro. He's another great Brazilian player. I've played with him for 15 years, probably going back, so long to playing on Poker Stars and Full Tilt, and he's a dinosaur of the game, but very very skilled, very capable. It's a great network of Brazilians around him. So I'll go with him.
Cool. All right, and then I think is that 4 and 4, and then we'll give Bao Ding to the audience as a bonus. We'll throw him the chip leader Adamo. Also gonna give. Let's see. So that's at 1, 2. Let's give why don't you choose? We'll choose 2 more for the audience. You can choose one, I'll choose one additional. So they got the chip leader, they got the short stack, and then we'll give them 2 more. So you pick one for the audience, I'll pick one.
Let's give him Mama Sherlock. Let's give him the second place stack. He's going to be a fun player to watch. Just I know he's very loose aggressive and raises a lot, and he'll be a fun one to sweat for them.
Okay, and then I will. So what they have a Damo, Bao, neutral 1, and then I'll give them let's give him Yuri as well. Let's give him Brazilian. I'm biased to Brazilian. So you guys got 4, you're rooting for. There's the nut flush. The nuts actually on the turn. Nice spot to have for Ike. He actually needed it as he got off flop, but we are still 9-handed, as you can see the payouts in the lower right, as we have the new look and feel of the Super Millions 2023. This is episode 1. Nick Maimone joins me for a very electric final table. This is definitely the case on the Super Millions each week. You can basically count on finding this type of action. There's almost always some of the biggest, brightest stars in the game, and it is fun to watch. I know you say you tune in pretty frequently and see, so it's fun to have you on here. And you say you've never done commentary before, which I find hard to believe.
I've never done it before. I love the game. I love learning and trying to improve, and just I grind a ton. In any free time I have, I spend with my kids or doing other things. So I just don't have too much time to do videos or commentary and that sort of thing. But I was off today and thought, hey, this would be a great one to jump on and learn from.
Awesome. Well, we can chalk you in for the next several final tables. I'm sure you'll see it happens that way often. I mean, no guarantees, of course. And you mentioned three children, keeps you very busy. What are the ages?
6, 4, and almost 2.
Nice. Oh wow, very consistent. Every 2 years. Very nice. I got a second on the way as well. I got a boy and another boy due in a couple months, so I'm pretty excited about that. And you also do some work with the nonprofit in Uruguay, I believe. Can you explain a little on that?
Yeah, in Honduras, actually. Yeah, I lived in Honduras for a long time, and I started a nonprofit called Empathy into Action. My wife helped me. She runs like our Instagram and our website and stuff, and we don't have any employees and don't take a salary, but we just I'm essentially just trying to use poker. Poker's been such a blessing in my life and given me so much to be grateful for, and I'm just trying to share that with a lot of kids that are deserving, and I've just never really been dealt any decent combos in their life. And yeah, we help about roughly 500 families in Honduras, mostly single mothers with kids, and try to give them food and clothes, shoes, medical help, educational help. Like we buy school supplies, just whatever we can to reduce suffering for a lot of people. And I know most of the people myself, that I go there multiple times a year and work with the people. And yeah, it's a great thing to be able to take some money from poker and to share it is a really huge blessing. So yeah,
Very, very,
I guess I
very
can
cool.
plug our Instagram is at empathy into action, and our website is empathyintoaction.org. So yeah, we would love any support, anybody following us or sharing what we do. It's a pretty cool thing.
Very, very cool. Yeah, please take a look at that, as well as we're mentioning, take a look at the hands up. That is the pin link in the YouTube chat there. You guys can guess the winning hand today. If you guess the suits, ace of hearts, 10 of diamonds, if that is the winning hand, you win the jackpot. You have to do it through that link. It is a Reddit forum spot, and you can guess. And if you win every week, it's a progressive jackpot, keeps going up. I don't think anyone's got it yet. And Pedro, speaking of having it, he's got a gut shot in a pair. And look at this turn. He does keep he had the best hand. Might have been hard to hold on there, right? But he does get to make essentially the nuts. I don't think he has to worry about a 3-6 suited under the gun opening. As we take a look at, very cool, looking at like the matchup here between the two players pops up on the kind of fans out on the new overlay look of this
Awesome.
Super Millions 2023. You can kind of take a look at the players matchups 2022 and 2023, and we are going to see could be a big bet here. It could be a slowdown, could be a big bet. I mean, does go with the slowdown. Spidey sense is on. Does understand Pedro with the risk premium the lowest. Is going to have a wide range to some degree on defending there, right? Incentivized to try to see a flop. So he does slow down, and now Pedro can really have to think, what can I target here? Do I go small? The chips are important. Do I even check? Wow, slips over the rope here.
Yeah, he's really trying to say, hey, I've got a weak ace or, some kind of 5, and just please check and get to showdown. And I honestly think Mama's going to take the bait here. I mean, we've seen Sherlock, or Mama, however we want to call him, we've seen him open with Queen 7 now, Queen Jack from early position, and King Queen from under the gun. It just seems like he's taking every single spot. And I think when the players realize that he's doing that, they will deviate the strategy like this. Like Pedro just checking the turn with the wheel with 2 flush draws on there. I think some people would lead the turn. But I think he just, hey, Mama's so wide, I'm just going to let this guy bluff. And then he checks the river as well.
Does he ever just go for all of it? Does he ever do something crazy here and just like a huge, I mean, he's really tanking.
Yeah, I don't think for all of it makes too much sense after he checks back the turn, 2 flush draws, right? It would have to be like literally pocket 7s. But then Pedro looks so capped, just checking the turn and checking the river, that when you go over all in there, it looks like a bluff because you're like, what are you going to get called by? So I understand Mama checking down and giving up. I think it's a really good give up. I think Pedro's check is really good on the river as played against a wide under the gun range.
I like it. Yeah, high level hand. Actually, some really good decisions made at every point of that hand. I mean, Pedro gave the opportunity for the bluff, and Mama just decided it wasn't to be, as 7-5 suited. The Windsor here going to go ahead and go and call. And look at this, not a pair to be found. Kind of funny how Hold'em works, right? It's like if you're used to PLO at all, I think you play some PLO, maybe 4 or 5 card. Are you play some PLO?
Just
right?
tournaments, just tournaments. Yeah, I love PLO 8 and PLO. I'm not great at either game, but I love playing tournaments, and they're great games. I just I don't know. Hold'em tournaments have just never not captivated me. I guess they have for 15 years or so now, and I feel like a little mini worse version of Eric Seidel. He always he's been playing for 40 years and he wins, and he's always just trying to be like, hey, I know so little. Every time I play, I realize how incomplete the information is, how much I can improve. And he seems like he's still learning, at his age. And I'm 36. I've been playing for so long, and I constantly am like, hey, I make so many mistakes. I don't have everything figured out at all, and just trying to check my ego and realize like how much more room I have to improve.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing to sort of understand. I actually was just playing with Eric down in Bahamas, and I always am impressed when I see him around. He's just in there, he's got chips, he's battling, he's thinking. And to your point, that's the best kind of way to learn and understand, is be understand that you don't know a lot, right? There is so much to learn. The game changes so frequently, and there's so many great players out there that there's a lot to learn. And if you're humble and come with that attitude, it's generally, that's a good place to start. When you start getting cocky and think you've learned and know it all, that's when things can really go south. So, yeah, big fan of Seidel, and I utter that sentiment. And Yuri here has the best hand. May not think so, right? Based on the action, he has the hearts that missed. So,
Yeah.
like, he does have the hand, but I don't know how often he actually thinks that he is gonna have a winner. But the good news for him is he's likely gonna win the pot unless somehow would bet check raise. But there is a big bet, so he is bluffing here.
Yeah, so it seems like Mama again, like he's taking a lot of stabs pre-flop and on the flop, right there on the turn was checked through, but then he's not following through, at least so far. So like he stabbed the turn there with open-ended, I guess I think he had low open-end with the 7 and a flush draw, and then when he gets called, he just instantly gave up, even though I guess he had like a blocker to the under straight and he missed. He just said, okay, cool, I fired once and I'm done. Which is good. Like it's showing that he has some self-control and awareness maybe of his image. People perceive him as bluffy, so then he's got to use his image and know that if he follows through, he may just get called wider. But yeah, nice hand by Yuri. I mean, taking that hand with the jack blocker and just bombing and really putting the pressure on Mama Sherlock, thinking, hey, if this guy's got 2 pair or straight, he's going to lead himself on the river, try to get paid. So when Sherlock checks, really looks pretty capped, and Yuri just really attacked it, tried to target top pair. And yeah, I think it would have worked. I think he would have gotten Sherlock to fold a 10 there with his big bet.
All right, king queen off, definitely a nice 3-bet bluff candidate, especially in position early. Yuri opening under the gun +1, ace jack off. Definitely, this is one of those hands which you target that are so hard to play, right? And Yuri does decide with this stack, with the situation, that he is going to bow out. So nice 3-bet there. King queen off. 9-handed. What do you think about that? Like 9-handed with the early position raise. Do you think that's a mandatory 3-bet, or is that one that you don't?
It's not mandatory at all. It's good. It's ballsy. I mean, it shows that Sherlock's here to play and is definitely courageous to attack Yuri like that. I mean, Yuri's an elite player, and he's saying, "Hey, 9-handed, I'm 3-betting your early position open with king queen off." It's ambitious, but it's going to work and target a portion of Yuri's range, and Yuri just folded the ace jack. I wouldn't be surprised to see Yuri 4-bet fold ace jack there to Sherlock if he knew how out of line Sherlock is pre-flop. I'm sure he would have. I'm sure Yuri would take a hand like ace jack there and 4-bet folded against a lot of opponents who he seems, or who he perceives to be 3-betting too wide. So I think Sherlock's lucky, and he's maybe using the fact that doesn't have a real name and is a little bit more unknown to his advantage.
Yeah, this is always jockeying for position early. No one really wants to go out. We do once in a while see some fast action. I saw one week where like 4 players were out in 30 minutes, but generally it takes a little bit of time to ease in. People are very aware of ICM. And here everyone seems to be playing a really solid game plan so far, as we're early in 30 minutes, but no blood, and really only the ace king to ace king sort of confrontation, as here we're going to see a damo in the big blind 5-6 off chip leader versus the second biggest stack. So definitely interesting. 5-6 does flop a gut shot. A 7 would be quite a card, although he would make the low end of the straight. And let's see what Mama gets to do here. Kind of a scary flop, as you generally get with 7s. A lot of overcards in this case. All overcards come in.
This C bet is quite surprising to me. I think, I don't know, I guess they both have jack 10, but I don't know. It's a really scary board, and I think just against Adamo, when you're in second place, it's a pretty scary C bet. But again, as we've seen, the tendency is just like, cool, I'm going to one and done it. I'm going to make these cheap C bets, these cheap min raise opens, these cheap turn stabs, and if I get caught, I'm just shutting down. So that seems definitely his strategy. For anyone obviously who doesn't know, that like this Super Millions is playing, as you said, it's playing a little bit deeper and takes some time for people to bust because they roll back the blinds. It's actually quite shallow for the final 2 or 3 tables. And then once you get to the final table, they roll the blinds back to make it deeper, to make it more play and more skill. So that's why it's Yeah, it's cool. I'm glad they do that. I think back in the day, they just let the blinds run, and sometimes people had 5 blinds or 3 blinds at the final table, and then there's just no skill involved. At that point, it's just flipping coins.
Yeah, I agree. No, it is nice. It's very nice. A lot of attention to detail. That's what I love about this Super Millions event. And as we said, again, I'll just mention it. The Super Millions 2023 season underway. This is episode 1, although the rankings, the actual super ranking board started on January 17th. So as we saw at the beginning of the show, some of the stats, Yuri's third final table already since that time will count, and prizes to be determined. There will be a nice leaderboard called the super ranking, where there will be bonuses and money prizes awarded. Of course, prestige, Nick. Everyone in poker, could say it or not, has ego. The rankings, Hendon mobs, this and that. You want to be at the top of a thing. And what better way than to track actual P&L, right? It's kind of interesting. You see a guy always got 4 million or 20 million in earnings on GG, but like, is he in for 30 million in buying? So like the Super Millions is the purest form where it actually will say, hey, how have you done? How many rebuys are you in? What's your actual profit? And I think that is very wholesome and cool. And that is something that is happening as well for the Super Millions live edition, which will be underway very shortly. And there will be a variety of stops where that does take place on tour. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Look at this spot. So Pedro's got a clear rejam here against the chip leader opening, and Arsenio wakes up with aces in the big blind. So this is going to be fun. And the 9 is folded. So Pedro's in really bad shape here. He just made a disciplined fold with ace-7 off on the button, which was a really, really great fold with his stack size. And yeah, he just seems like he's kind of what I call dealt to lose. I call it DTL in poker. There's so many situations where just the cards dictate. If somebody asks me like, oh, how'd you bust? I was just like, DTL. Just easier just to say it like that, in tournaments, that there's just, hey, the best player in the world is going broke here. There's nothing you could do. Pedro gets it in a standard spot. He's got 1 out. I mean, I'm interested in why he chose 470, leaving himself with 330 back, like what that accomplishes. I would have just gone all in, but maybe he's seeing something like if he goes 470 and then 2 other people go all in, he can fold and preserve 6 big blinds or something, whatever it was.
Yep. Well,
yes, super unlucky DTL,
for Pedro. Not to be confused with DTD for Dust Till Dawn, Rob Young spot. This is a GG for the man right there, as it looks at, again, the matchup on the side. Sort of cool how it fans out, shows the 9th place finisher, the tough Brazilian, going to get 44,000 as we are down to 8-handed, and a pretty nice spot. Get aces, get a raise and a shove in front of you, and nines buried. So pretty cool. And case ace, top set, right? Just flops it. Pretty strong.
Waking up with aces versus an open and a rejam. I mean, I call it the dream, or in Spanish, el sueño. When that happens, that's just the perfect, just give me the chips. Speaking of Rob Young, since you gave him a little shout out, oh, this is an interesting spot. 9 big blind reshove. Yeah, so Sherlock is just race folding so much. I don't think he's ever calling here. I'm curious what his calling range is. Like if he has queen jack suited, he flicks it in. King jack off, he's probably folding, I guess. I don't know, it's close. Speaking of Rob Young, I don't know if you watched that $1 million cash game on Poker Go last week.
I caught some of the highlights, but I didn't get to watch.
Oh my gosh, dude! There's this spot. There's this amazing. Oh wow, kings against queens. Let's talk about this first.
Wow, big hands getting dealt out here.
Yeah, Durzwiliski. This guy. I've told you this. I said this before the table. He always seems to have it in spots, and he needs to have it. Like I play a lot of satellites with him, a lot of tournaments. He's a very, very good player. And what can Haxton do here? I mean, Haxton's just DTL. He's got 22 bigs.
Did you come up with that DTL? I'm gonna have to use that sometime.
I don't know. I coined it. I mean, I'm not taking credit for it. Somebody else might say it, but that's just what I say, especially people who don't play poker, rather than like going and explaining, oh, I had 15 big blinds and this happened. I just like, okay, yeah, cool. The cards forced me out. That's how tournaments have to go to get the field down. Wow. I mean, what can Haxton do here? His hand is too strong to call. I mean, he's got a 3-bet. He can't 3-bet full with 22 bigs. He's going to be seeing jacks and 10s and ace king and even ace queen suited sometimes. He's just, what can he do? He's got a 3-bet call and get eighth place.
He's going to get to enjoy the rest of his afternoon, not currently in the tournament, but again, a force and he is on a serious heater. So everyone, I'm sure at the table, is happy to see him go with the pay jump and also the skill, the quality of the caliber of player to go out the door. A couple of coolers coming our way here so far today, down to 7, and
you jinxed it. You said no blood. You jinxed it. You said no blood, and two out of 3 hands after his elimination. Yeah. So regarding Rob Young played the most, like, one of the craziest spots. There was a hand where he had King Jack of hearts, or no, King Jack of diamonds, and Andrew Roble had 9-7 of diamonds, and the board was
I saw this hand. I saw this one.
Queen 10 8, and it was like straddled and 3-bet pre-flop 3-way, and the turn was a diamond. It's like a 2 of diamonds, and Rob Young led like 60K, and Roble just shoved like 560K or something, like a 10x.
What? I thought it was only 180K. Was it all in?
No, he was all in. He shoved 560 or 600K on the turn. And I mean, poker is just a crazy game, right? Like, Rob Young is an 80% favorite there on the turn, with his better open-ended, his better flush draw, just has Roble dead to rights, and Roble somehow makes the perfect play to shove and get Rob to fold. And it's very surprising because Rob Young is the type of player who is not scared, and he'll make a very like courageous call like that with the draw, and just like, he's not a nit. So it's a very like wild play, I think, from Roble, and it worked out perfectly. He gets the guy to fold as a 4-1 favorite, wins this huge pot instead of being stuck like 500 or 600K. Like, the whole session changes, because then Roble wins, goes on a massive heater, coolers Rob Young right afterwards, like a boat against a wheel, like makes like 3 sets, and then like ends up being a huge winner because Rob Young just folded this hand, and all Rob Young had to do was just call, and then instead Roble's, could have been down 600K or made have busted his whole million, and Young could have been a huge winner. I mean, poker is just so crazy. You have so many micro decisions, and they could just lead a session, or a tournament can lead to one decision on one street, and you could just pick the wrong one, even for good reason, and that could just change everything, for sometimes in your favor, sometimes against, But yeah, that was painful for Rob Young. I mean, Roble showed him the 9-7 of diamonds, and that's a painful thing to fold that hand as a 4-1 favorite on the turn.
For sure. And Arseni getting a creative turn bet gets the best hand to fold, as the King 10 was trying to think probably what does my opponent have? What's the good outcome here? Is he going to slow down if he's bluffing on the river? Does get bluffed off, as speaking of bluffs. And Roble and Rob have a lot of history. I've played in some high stakes games with them, and they know each other very well. They're and Rob has a lot of respect for Roble and vice versa, but definitely some history there. Those guys have played a lot of poker together, I can tell you that. So but still, right, it's $500,000 to call in a draw. Like, Rob, like, that's the thing though, Rob is one of the people that would like, it really hurt him. Like, he's definitely, like, he would do it just like kind of saying, I got a lot of outs, not thinking, he wasn't considering he could be getting bluffed. He was just thinking, do I want to draw for this, and
of course. Of course, it wouldn't pass through your mind that you somehow could have the best hand with King High. And they actually ran. Right,
you also have the most prevalent draws. You got the diamonds and the straight draw. Like, what is the guy got?
And you're like, cool, do I want to just gamble 600K with one to come? I don't know in that game if they could run it twice or what, but that was just bizarre. And yeah, like you said, they might have some crazy history. I was shocked.
Wow. Look at this action. We got some real action here. I mean, this is a click back, but the King Jack off. To your point, this player is so dangerous, capable, just seems to be in the right place, right time. But very nice recognition. I mean, late position, button, small blind, big blind confrontation. Ace Queen is a big hand. It's still not easy to just go 7-handed there when you got a huge stack to put it up like that. So very nice execution from Mama there, and really going for it.
Ace Queen's the perfect hand there, really, to 4-bet fold, because thinking Adamo's super wide, and Derzbaliski's thinking, okay, Adamo's super wide, I'm gonna take his 3-bet spot. You can't fault Derzbaliski for 3-betting there. It does expose him a little bit, kind of in between the two biggest stacks, to 3-bet a hand wide. I might, if I was him in this spot, I might be a little bit tighter, just because I've got the first, the guys who have the most chips to hurt me and abuse me as the middle. I'm the middle stack. So I may have passed and folded that King Jack there. And then obviously Sherlock's just thinking, okay, I've got a premium hand. I beat all the light 3-bets and, crush these ranges. So he can just put in the comfortable 4-bet fold and win a huge pot. Bow laddering. I mean, he came in as last, and, he's up to 7th. He gets queens here with 10 bigs in the big blind.
Yeah.
Adamo's been a little bit more quiet than I expected. I'm not gonna lie so far. I mean, he's just kind of laying in wait. I've expected him to be out there blasting. I've expected him to be playing like Sherlock is, to be honest. Bao's gonna have an amazing spot here. Queens against Queen 10 suited. Blisky gonna fold for 400K more. Yep.
Wow.
I think he would have called like 300K more, but I think 400 is enough to get him to fold. Yuri's got aces in the big. Yeah, I mean, you touched on this a little bit with regarding, you mentioned Seidel and how important humility is, and also just like, just humility and self-awareness is so important in poker. And I often lack that, of just, you know, like you talked about, like the ego and trying to push it. And poker is such an interesting combination of, you need to be confident that you can beat the field and confident that you're a winning player in the field that you register, but you also have to be humble to know that how little you actually know, and how much room you have to improve. So it's just such this balance between arrogance and humility. You know, there's not many other things that I can think of that come with both of those together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's poker. I talk about this all the time. I just believe the game is such a beautiful game. You get to learn so much when you play poker with people. It's like how they handle wins, losses, how you handle other people's wins, losses. You know, how you're. There's just, it's like golf, right? You learn about someone. Really, you spend a foursome in golf for the day. Like, you're gonna get to know people well. At poker, you're just getting to learn about people's success and failure. And I'll tell you what, Bao is getting another good spot. Maybe wish he had called with Queen 10 suited, because now he's going to be a 4-1 dog, and it's much more expensive. And I mean, is there a way? There's a way to, still a lot, semi a lot to call here. Is there a way you can find a fold? Seems close.
I mean, the problem is here is Baoding. I mean, he's still in last, right? So ICM doesn't affect him too much. I mean, Ole is close, but he's already seen Bao jam or rejam 3 or 4 times, and Bao's had it every time. So Dursblitzy's got to ask himself, hey, am I just getting exploited here? Is Bao just like rejamming wider? Does he have a hand like, you know, does he just flips, or like, could he ever have pocket 7s or pocket 8s? For example, like if 9s is beating some hands there, it's really tough to fold to a 12 big blind rejam. But I think it's a really good discipline fold by Dursblitsky. I mean, that shows like the patience, right? He didn't tilt there. He just makes a big fold with queens. He just 3-bet folds to king jack. He's got 9s to jacks. Many people could get emotional or get frustrated and then flick in the call with 9s chasing and have 2 outs there. I mean, I've done that so many times. And honestly, if I was in that position, that'd be really tough for me to fold there with 9s. Given, oh, hey, I just 3-bet folded. I just flatted and folded to the short stacks jam. And now the same guy's jamming on me again with 12 bigs, and I've got 9s. 7-handed, that takes a lot of self-control, a lot of discipline, a lot of patience to fold there. So that I'm impressed. Would you have folded there, Jeff? Would you have folded the 9s there?
Man, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I think I don't think I would, but I think I would definitely think about it. It really, like, to your point that he's gone in several times. He is the shortest stack, risk premium the lowest. You cover, you still have $1 million plus if you lose. You got 120 out there. There's money in the middle. You know, you got to be pretty sure he's got 10s plus. You know what I mean? And that's hard to decipher, right? He's gonna have ace king. He's gonna have 7s. He's gonna have ace queen. So if you are. Yeah, if you fold and he has 7s, it's a disaster. And then you have to decide, like, what do you do when he has queen king suited or ace queen? You know, that's the problem. You're also losing a decent bit of equity there when you are flipping, when you have that extra money in the middle and you have the best of it. So I don't know. I think that's where I get so impressed on here, is I feel like the decisions are so good in spots that are really close, and we get to see the cards face up. The players seem to make these like extraordinary folds or calls so often, which is cool, you know, because again, if he's got 7s there, he just looks silly, and it's a massive blunder, right? Like it's just it's so they're just right.
So many interesting things. I mean, I don't know if you just saw Adamo just 3x in the small blind with queen 10, and Dursblitsky shoved 32 bigs from the big blind with king 10 off. So it's like he's folding. I mean, that's crazy to me. He must have just be zoned in that Adamo's opening super wide and the small blind to 3x. I don't know. I don't think I would be able to shove 32 bigs there with king 10 off, but and then Adamo here opens, doesn't c-bet queen 9-4 with the gutter. Surprising. I'm always expecting him to c-bet, but I guess now he's in second and Sherlock covers, so he's being a little more cautious, checks back. He didn't bet the turn as well, which is very disciplined because he, obviously in this spot it would have cost him, and he just checks down and he's going to lose the minimum here. Going to lose nothing. That's impressive to me that Adamo didn't lose a single blind post flop there with King Jack.
Yep.
I was watching back, I watch this show most weeks when I'm grinding, and I was looking back at this hand. I think when it was the Charlie Hook episode, and there was a guy, H. Damani, who jammed the river with ace-6 against King Jack. I don't know if you remember this hand on like a Jack XX King board. So the guy, he rivered top 2, and he folded to ace-6, like no pair, no blocker, nothing. And he jammed, and you guys were just like stunned, and occasionally I think you made the comment of like, those spots and you're right, you look like a genius, and like the times you're wrong, it looks kind of silly. But man, that discipline by what was his name, Israeli guy, Barak. Yeah, it was Barak who folded. The discipline to fold there was
Wizbrod, right?
Barak Wizbrod. Yeah, he's another very, very patient, very skilled player, very patient. I mean, that's one of the biggest keys in this game that I oftentimes still don't learn, is just being patient and not beating yourself, and being disciplined and having self-control.
I have a hand. I don't know if somehow you probably wouldn't remember this, but it was like such an insane hand. It was on Twitch back in the day. I had Jack 10 on like Jack 10, and I checked back or something, or I had Jack 10. It was like I'm pretty sure I had the stone cold nut boat, and I checked back, and the guy had a straight flush on like a 2-card straight flush or so. It was one of the more insane hands, and there was a lot of debate about, like, basically people say, and people were like, "You're a fish, like you can't do that because like like whatever, no matter what you like it just like that was the argument. You just can't do it." But like I was right, so like there was this debate about. I could find it. It's on my Instagram.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Send it to me. I just hate that. I hate that when somebody says you can't do something. It's like, you could always do whatever you want. The cards are not people. They don't decide what to do. You are in control. Use your mind, use your experience, use your intellect to try to make the best decision you can. And sometimes you don't make the best decision, and learn from it and try to make a better decision next time. But these rules that people set in place, like I can do something, or I can't do something with certain combos, is just it closes you off so much, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, that's impressive, right? I mean, if you did something 1 in a million and you were right that time, I mean, you look like a genius.
It reminded me of the hand with Jennifer Tilly and Patrick Antonius somewhere. Like she checked back like some insane hand, and the Ivy looks around like everyone was looking around like what just happened. But yeah, I mean, you run the risk of when you're wrong, or if you're wrong and it's so insane that you just really look like a whatever. So I don't know. I just said that hand was like my highlight hand ever, and I just thought it was like hilarious. But also looking it back, I get the side of it. I get like it's not like I'm checking back full houses, like almost never ever actually. So that was just like an out of body weird thing. I was like the timing, or it was like maybe the situation, but I'd have to go review it. But I just got crucified for it, really. But yeah,
Ole's been, these final tables are brutal when they start, deeper, and you just get no hands to play at all. I've had so many of these GG final tables where you come in and you just don't have a single hand that you can VPip. And this, Ole shoved their Jackson suit under the gun, which is fine. He got Derzblisky to fold 8s. And yeah, they're frustrating sometimes when you just come in and Ole's just had nothing to work with. He's just blinded down. I mean, he's got his ladder twice, but just had nothing to play. And again, that's just tournament poker and the variance. You just sometimes you just get no hands to play, and then you finally get one hand, you have to get your chips in, you get cooler, or you get sucked out on, and just nothing you can do. But that's just part of the beauty and uncertainty of the game. Just never, anybody can beat anybody on a given day, right?
For sure. And here we see Ole kind of an awkward stack and not a huge raise. So Yuri goes less than 3x blind on blind. Ole battling there as the short stack tied with Baodeng, and he has now got a spot where he is got queen 8 off, and he is just going to get out of the way. So nice hand from Yuri there to raise and then continuation bet.
That's not super standard to go under 3x right now in the small blind, but he's trying to induce ace-9, thinking Ole's doesn't have too much to lose. Maybe he rejams all of his worst ace-x. it is a little bit awkward for Yuri because like when he's gonna get flatted by a really wide range and a short stack, and he's gonna miss the board a lot and just really have no clarity on what Ole has. And then he gets in some tough situations. But fortunately for him, Ole just had flop no equity and
Yeah. Some big hands here. King 9 suited elects to raise under the gun. King Queen suited could 3-bet, but also a very strong hand to peel flats. And then jacks wake up, and we saw Yuri get rid of 9s quickly
Yep.
with of course the open flat and a 3-bet. Now deep stacked, relatively the chip leader with King Queen suited is going to be dominated sometimes. And I don't know, does he just pitch it? Is it too pretty to fold? He does go ahead and make a disciplined lay down there. What do you think, Nick? Do you ever peel there?
Well, that's honestly a very strong play, right? For him to 3-bet UTG open and UTG one flatter, it's a very, very strong play. I mean, I don't think, the value range is like jacks plus. This is the pure bottom of his value range. So I think that's a really good disciplined fold from Sherlock, even though he's got chip lead. He's thinking, hey, do I want to just kind of spew some chips out of position with a very pretty hand versus a competent opponent, or do I want to just fold, lose two big blinds and maintain my chip lead? I think that's a very intelligent decision for him just to pass that spot. That's just not a great spot because, like you said, he is dominated by ace king, ace queen. You're going to see queens plus there a lot from Arseni, and there's a lot of times Arseni's got aces, kings, whatever. What if it comes queen high? What if it comes king high against aces? He's got a lot of difficult decisions post flop once you call that squeeze out of position.
For sure. Well, here we see Adamo go with the limp blind on blind as a general. I would say that's pretty standard, especially when these stacks are about similar. And this is a pump with the jack deuce off. So we do see both players pair the jack. Jack 6 suited does have the best kicker playing at the moment, and a interesting spot where we do see the jack deuce go ahead and isolate on or to re-raise early there. So let's see if he decides to bet or just keep checking maybe with the showdown. Look at that. There is going to be likely a chop pot. I don't see many scenarios where it's not.
Yeah, I mean, so Durslowski's ISOing very polar here in the big blind, and I would like to see Adamo, if he's limp calling this, like this is towards the weaker end of his limp call range. I would like to see once the flop goes check, check, I expect Durslowski to be betting his queen X and his better jack X. So I think it's more likely that Durslowski has ace high or a 3 or an under pair. I would really like to see Adamo bet the turn there with jack 6 for value. Which is checking is fine, but and obviously I can see the cards, but I think that would have been cool to see a value bet there on the turn. And Durslowski got lucky to chop. That would have been helpful for Adamo. He's had a rough start, hasn't really had any momentum or hands that would have been good for him to win that hand, but yeah, this is it's gonna be fun. I mean, there's a lot of these medium stacks. Yuri, Arseni, Durs, Adamo, they're all kind of very, very close in that range. I expect most of the time Shemian and Bao are going to bust here fairly soon, and then we're going to have a 5-handed battle with four medium stacks and a big stack if the stacks stay the same, but obviously can change quickly. Going a little bit over 3x here with 8s. I think the standard right now is like 3.5 to go with your small blind raises. So we went a little bit smaller. I think it's an okay defend. I think, yeah. It's not an easy spot for Arseni. It's not really a great hand you want to call with. It's also feels a little bit too good to fold, and it feels a little bit too bad to 3-bet. So he just kind of like opted for the call, but like no option is good here with a hand like king 7 off. And then he floats the flop, which I don't think is I would do with very little equity against the chip leader. He knows that Sherlock is opening wide, so I think maybe a hand like king 7, and maybe I'm super wrong here. I think a hand like king 7 off might play better just as a 3-bet or a fold rather than calling and then call king 7 suited. Because now he's just in a really pretty tough spot. He flicks in some chips on the flop and now has to fold the turn and really has no clarity. So a lot of these marginal spots where people feel like, well, I've got to defend, but again, you're like medium stack, right? You're actually he was second to start the hand. He's up against chip leader, so in theory, the chip leader should be putting a lot of pressure on him. And he's got a very marginal hand playing defense, a hand that's not going to flop well almost always, almost ever.
Yeah, completely agree. And Oleg getting very short, just one of those things, as you mentioned, sometimes you just don't get dealt in or get spots. Definitely not shy, very creative player. And he is kind of just been not really getting fortuitous situations for the day, but still enough chips. Got over 10 blinds, 11 blinds. He can play. We see ace nine off. Arseni going to go ahead and pounce on this open here. The cutoff from, not going to pronounce his name. I'll just call him my man AD. Going to call him AD.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll just stick with that. That's
his star's name is Drew Durs. So he's somebody, I think people call him Durs.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Again, yeah, definitely tough. I would say this has been, there's the quality of play here is very strong. I mean, obviously we always see great players. You got to beat the best, as we like to say, on the Super Millions 2023. But today I'd say there's really no one. Like sometimes there's some splashing, there's satellites, a lot of options now to come in for a low price point to get into Super Millions, $10, as well as other options to satellite in. But today I'd say this is world class. No one's really giving anything away. Playing pretty ABC, as in great ABC, like textbook, really well. Mamacita, I'd say, is a little out of line, but also playing great so far. Made some good decisions and going.
Ole finally got a spot for the snap call, and it's like even this spot, right? It's like he finally gets the perfect spot. He's got the guy dominated, but he's still only 70-30. Like it's just
wow.
Nothing that Bao Ding could do here but jam. Right, doing anything else would be, I don't know, suboptimal, clearly, and he's just DTL. Well, Bao Ding, I think he came into that 10 million Super Millions, the first episode of season 2023, and I think he was short and he laddered and played really well. I think he got first or second in the big one for like almost a mil or 800. I don't remember. He got first or second. So he's clearly a good player. I don't know who he is, but
yeah. Well, you can see his earnings. It flashed on the screen there, 946,000. And so,
okay, so he must have gotten second for like 800, I think.
Huge score.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the 10K 10 million is such a great tournament. I got, I think, 60th in it. A few, you put on the screen of the leaderboard, what was it called, the super rankings. Yeah, the super rankings is such a cool idea and format. The guys who win the big ones have such a huge advantage. I think the guy who won the 10K 10 mil, Haw, HAWWW, never seen the name before. Random, he wins it for 1.4 or whatever it was. He says it has a huge advantage now. But they're going to run, I'm sure GG will run several more throughout the year. So there'll be several other instances for people to catch up. And that was such a great tournament. I mean, it's a 10K phase throughout the whole week. So you can play it multiple times. It can get very expensive. And I played so patiently. It was such a great tournament. I made a deep run and busted to El Joseph in 60th place. I think it's just a DTL spot. He shoved ace 2 suited in the small blind. I was so patient. Wake up with ace queen with 10 bigs and lost. So that's just I'm looking forward to having some more opportunities like that in the big Super Millions this year.
Yeah, and there's another look at the payouts and the players that have exited so far. We had the Brazilian in 9th, Ike in 8th, and right there, the 7th place finishers for 72,469. Next place will be 92,795, and of course that 319,438 top prize. No deal making available. This is just straight play, straight to the end. So we'll see a big heads up match today for a nice spread between first and second. Oli, we were mentioning was kind of in trouble. All of a sudden, he just finds himself right back in it, very healthy. And want to point out the ELO spin and goes that are going on. You can take a look at that, the spins, as well as the all-in fortune. Could you explain the all-in fortune for us, Nick? I know you've played some of this, maybe where it's like all in or fold.
Yeah, so these all in are fold, and this 10 mil GG Masters is an awesome spot. But I'll explain the all in or fold first. I think it's just a game where you get 8 big blinds and you're going all in or folding, and there's a jackpot, like a little chest, which some people can win, thousands of dollars on the side if you win with the right hand. So it's just kind of a fun, quick non-committal game if you don't have much time to play tournaments. And then the other one that popped up was the 10 million 150 Masters, which is just such a fun tournament. I mean, the fact that GG is able to put on a tournament where you buy in for $150 and it's a 10 million prize pool is pretty incredible. I believe there's 9 day ones. The first one started on Sunday, and they have them for all the time zones for Asia, Europe, and the Americas. And you can play once per flight, and I think you can bag your biggest stack. I'm pretty sure. And first place is almost $1 million. So I think there's more chances to play on Sunday and Monday. I think the last days, and the day 2 is on Monday the 27th. Which will be an awesome spot. I bagged it on Sunday. I had, fortunate to bag a good stack, so I'm really excited to play that on Monday.
Very cool. I'll tell you who's not excited. AD here with ace 10 and the small blind, limping pretty high up in the range, 6-handed, and he is going to get the 3-bet. And this is interesting because like the hand is strong. You're polarizing spot, right? The mama seed is going to have his stone cold whiffs and his big hands. Is this a spot where he is going to always call, or do you think he would ever sort of push it up and find out where he's at? He does just call, and both players flop a gut shot on queen jack jack.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we saw Derzblisky reshove the 32 big blinds against Adamo blind versus blind when he was chip leader, right? And this is a different spot where he's intuitively he's in position there with king 10, so you'd make more sense to call in position. And here he's out of position with ace 10, and he limp calls against a guy who's very yeah, it's a fun turn.
Wow.
I like Derzblisky's call here because I think he thinks that he's dominating all of the bad, like so much of the bad hands, and he's very disguised. He doesn't want to get in like limp shove 30 something big blinds with ace 10, even though it's probably not terrible. I think he just wants to keep all of the bluffs in, and obviously check calling the flop, and then hitting gin here on the turn. I think he expects that Sherlock just has a ton of trash, so I think he's just going to try to trap. Sherlock can have any like 10x, like, I mean, obviously Derzblisky has a 10, but Sherlock can have hands like 10-2 or 10-3 or 9-2 or 9-3.
How important is that spade there for him or not? Does he, I mean, he actually said like he's going to have a lot of trash, so maybe he's not as worried, but does it have an ace of spades in case his opponent has a flush draw picked up that does that really matter? He's just always going to call there, right? Whether he has ace of spades or not.
Yeah, I think it's a good check by Sherlock. He checked pretty fast. I don't think the ace of spades is that relevant there because Sherlock's hands that isolate are often going to be more pairs and then more like more trash, like more off-suited trash. So he doesn't have that many suited hands, right? The suited hands that he would have are hands like ace king, ace queen suited, like some of the suited broadways. So I don't think the backdoor flush is that relevant in that spot. He obviously can be be running into some boats like like queens or or kings full or something like that. But I don't think that, I mean, spade is nice. It's nice to have, okay, cool. The guy doesn't have ace X of spades. He knows the other guy can't have ace X of spades. So that's obviously really nice. But it's crazy. They're like, Derzblisky could have limp jammed there and like had a huge suck out. And instead he just like limp called, which is the really good play. And then he made less chips. But definitely I wouldn't have been shocked to see him limp shove ace 10, given that he had jammed the same amount of chips with king 10 in a blind versus blind spot against Adamo.
For sure. Well, here he gets check raised, bottom pair, the gap, suited gapper turns his hand into a bluff and gets called. So now, I mean, Jack's in a phenomenal spot, 9-15 in the middle. Although, does Jack do slow down? Was that a kind of one and done to feel where you're at? Figure you can shake your opponent if he doesn't have a king most of the time, and he does not shake his opponent, gets called. Now, this is the type of hand he could target, right? Sevens through jacks, through queens. But I mean, man, big bet, Arseni. I mean, this is a lot of heat, right? The 5 also hands he might be bluffing with, some gut shots possibly, or like whatever.
I mean, 3-4 is one of the really hands you're worried about here. That's an amazing.
But would you bet, if you have 3-4 suited or 3-4, would you really bet that size on that drive a turn? Do you think? Would you go that big? It seems a little like.
I think so. He's betting 2/3 because you got to think that like Derzblisky has some kind of value to bet and then call the check raise most of the time on king 6-2 rainbow, right? It's not like Derzblisky is like floating that wide on a really dry board. So it's like the times you do have 3-4, you want to be somewhat balanced there, and you want to actually have value and get value from like ace king or aces or some of the high end value hands that Derzblisky can have. So I wouldn't have been shocked to see that. I mean, 3-4 suited, I think he's probably folding 3-4 off. So there's 4 combos of 3-4 suited that he's going to be pure check raising there. And then some 2 pairs, he can have like king 5, probably doesn't have 5-2. So you can have king 5, king 2, and then the sets, having the pair of 2s. And he's just thinking, oh, I'm blocking bottom set, and I don't have much showdown value. I can't take too much pressure. And I mean, look at that. Like, you can beat jacks with jack 2 with a little bit of aggression in the right spot. I mean, that's
cool. And for sure.
You can't blame Drzewiecki for folding there, but that's just, I mean, he just got outplayed.
Ole also last hand took it up in the big blind with 6s. A lot of people would flat, maybe recognizing the chip leader and how wide he operates. That 6s, he just doesn't want to get in a weird spot. The guy's opening 7-8 off, where you're these trashy hands where they have a lot of equity against 6s. So he just shoots it up, takes it down, and here a little bit of a bigger raise with Yuri going up, and king 5 suited, definitely a hand that Damo's going to be interested in playing, but the price is tax, little tariff tax from Yuri here. Let's see what Adamo decides to do.
I think you're completely right. I think Ole is not jamming those 6s against everybody.
Wow. Snap call. And this has got implications. The season 2023 Super Millions, and an aggressive move from Adamo. Yuri ahead at the moment. Very clean turn. Needs to fade. You know what? I don't even want to say it. Can he do it? Is it? Oh, it's paint, but not the king. And that is a massive hand. Yuri, you called it today. You said, Yuri, you're feeling it. The guy's in great form. Tough player, third final table. And he has got a commanding, well, not a commanding lead, but a commanding pot.
Such terrible timing. Such terrible timing for Adamo there. Just nothing has gone his way. Comes in with chip lead. Doesn't really have any hands. I'm just gonna stand up real quick here.
My bad.
Yeah.
I lost internet for a sec. Okay.
Yeah, just a tough spot for hold on. Yeah, just a tough spot. Oh, good. A tough spot for Adamo there. I mean, I don't hate his rejam if he's thinking Yuri's opening super wide. It's obviously very risky, but just nothing's really gone Adamo's way. Came in with chip lead. And I mean, yeah, what a great spot for Yuri to have it there. I mean, Yuri is definitely hungry. He definitely wants to win this one. I think he got 5th and 5th already this season.
It's funny, Adamo on the short stack, though, a guy that just seems, you never can count him out. He's got 600. He just feels like a guy to get right back in it, finds margins to win pots, chip up. He gets an all-in through. He picks up a lot of chips. And here, King Jack suited, sort of that perfect hand is going to flat. And this is a very interesting board. King Jack suited has the gut shot over, backdoor flush draw, and King 9 suited just flops. Absolute Yahtzee, 9-9 queen here. And is going to be interesting what it does sizing. Sometimes you see players check this back even. I mean, it makes sense to bet, though, on this particular board. Your opponent's going to have some draws, Jack 10, King Jack, King 10, have a queen. So he does go small, quarterish pot. And can't imagine Mamacita folding. Could even get a little spicy here. Does go for the check raise. And this is music to AD's ears.
Wow. I mean, this check raise makes sense with a gut shot and backdoor flush draw. The only thing I don't like about it is like he doesn't have too much 9x sliding the small blind. I guess he has some like 10-9 suited, 8-9 suited, ace-9 suited. So he definitely has some 9x. And this is a very interesting turn. Sherlock's got to think Drzewiecki has a lot of queen x, but then also Drzewiecki hates this card, right? It's like one of the worst cards for him. I just don't know. I don't know if Drzewiecki thinks that Sherlock's check raising a lot of queen x. I think he kind of expects him to call. So maybe he's not really scared of the queen. And yeah, I like the check back and do some bluffs from Jack 10 and King Jack and King 10. But yeah, as you said, Ole reshoved the 6s on Sherlock is a good adjustment because he knows he's picked up on how wide Sherlock is opening, not just because he's chip leader, but that's just his play. That's just his style to min raise fold.
It's amazing the timing the players have, though. I think that's, again, one of the biggest strengths of these players is they're in tune to every spot situation, what's happening in real time, right? Where some people might, I have 6s, like I'm in, this stack, I don't want to risk it. Whereas he's just like, no, what? This guy's opening too much. He's chip leader. Like the calibration of a situation. I think the guys like even Adamo, right? he goes for it there. You rarely see where guys just completely run into it, you know, and they make the plays in their spots. They just kind of seem to get away with it. But yeah, that was unfortunate time. And even so, though, King 5 suited, right? Still in the game, covers his opponent, has pretty decent equity against Jacks. I mean, that's not just an automatic win for Jack. Still has to put it on the line there.
Yeah, it's yeah, this is like he shoved King 9 there, gets Ace 8 to fold there. So I mean, if you're getting, you know, obviously it's a good jam. But yeah, I mean, the King 5 suited is interesting. Poker was, people used to undervalue the ace wheel suited hands, right? In tournament poker. They used to undervalue them, and then people realized like how much power and strength they actually have. And now a lot of guys have figured out like King X is like really strong. So everyone's like kind of like extending the ranges and justifying more hands being playable or good, right? It's like the King 5 suited, a lot of guys will say, oh, cool, well, yeah, I've got 30%, like block this, da. And like they'll come up with a justification for making like a huge rejam. And even in that spot, right, you get snapped by queens or jacks and you've got 30% equity. You get snapped by ace queen, you've got 30% equity. You get called by ace king even, and you have reasonable equity to win with a suited hand like that. Whereas you're just getting so many folds, right? You're just getting so many folds. The times that Adamo jams at King 5, it's going to look like a punt to a lot of people. A lot of people will be like, well, why did he shove? He could have just been patient. But like Adamo's made a living and a career off of like taking thin spots and edges like that, where it might look bad the times he runs into jacks and doesn't get there. But there's so many times he's done that and beaten jacks, or way more times that he's just shoved and everybody's folded and he's just taken down the pot. So
yeah,
you know,
it's nice hand, nice hand from Yuri here as well. King 7 suited just turns it into a bluff. He had the best hand, but of course was doing a merge there. He's kind of protecting, or he's bluffing, but he's also, he actually had the best hand. He's just kind of getting a hand like that completely to fold. So a nice recognition. 4 million crosses the mark. Yuri in command right now. Everyone pretty healthy though. There's no one in critical condition other than Adamo, who was the chip leader. So again, no guarantees. Chip leader to 6, play 6 left, and obviously be disappointed if that's how it ends for Adamo. But this guy's got to fight. He's not ready to roll over yet, and still some chips to play.
Yeah, so this is pretty standard here. Just like the one big blind C bet against the short stack. Adamo's defending off of 10, 11 bigs. And Derzblisky could just comfortably bet one big blind with his range because it just puts so much pressure on Adamo's stack, like to float. Like he's forcing him to have a king or a 7 or like, you know, pretty good hand. But yeah, I mean, Arsenis played really well. Like that Jack 2, so many players wouldn't find that spot. So many players would just ICM fold the Jack 2 pre, or just check fold, or check call, check fold, or just check call and then get to showdown. And like he took the aggressive line in the perfect spot where Derzblisky has a value hand under top pair and gets the max. He gets the check raise and gets the fold. And those kind of spots, like the Jack 2 to jacks, that's like what wins these kind of final tables. When you've got everybody playing so well, if you apply pressure in the right spots, makes all the difference.
All right, well, see a quarter bet size right into top pair, King 8 a week, top pair, and this is a nice card. Welcome for Mama. Mama there with the now 2 pair. Going to feel a lot more confident with the hand. Ace 8 does hit the pair, and now Ole deciding. Oh my!
I was gonna say an 8 on the river will be really fun. I mean, obviously Jack 10 gets there for Mama, so Ole's got to be somewhat cautious of Jack 10 getting there. But Sherlock would think that Ole would always bet Jack 10 and would always bet Ace King. So now the only hand that Sherlock's going to think he loses to is Ace Queen, and then sometimes Ace 8, Ace 4. So there's not too many hands that Sherlock loses to. So I could, interesting. He chooses a small sizing. Okay. I was expecting Sherlock to bet at big sizing. He's been going big on the river when he's had value, like pot or.
He's definitely pretty strong hand here. Is he going to make it 650 or something? If I was going to give him a little tax on it.
I don't think so. I honestly think that this is such a great sizing. Wow, he does. This is a great sizing by Sherlock because he can do this as a blocker with his worst value, and he can also do this to induce. Like if he has Jack 10, or if he has like a set of fours or something, he can make this small bet to try to induce on the ace. So Shemian's got to be really careful here. If he can easily value on himself and going for a big raise here, he's targeting what? He's targeting worst two pair to call, targeting ace 10, ace jack to call. That might 3-bet pre. So I don't know. Like it just seems really thin by Ole. Like I think it's really tough to get too many worse hands to call. It looks amazing in this spot because Sherlock has exactly the hand that can call him with worst two pair. But against the range that Sherlock's going to have, raising while on the surface can seem good, to me it just seems really thin because you really have to think on the river, hey, what worse hands are going to call me? And he really can own himself.
I think he's thinking though, what hand, like what ace queen does it, ace queen, does it bet the flop? I guess, right, you said, and then check turn because the king's out there, but is king, what king X is check? It's a very tough spot. He does call, does make the call, and Ole. Yeah.
So this is an example, right, of like Ole making the perfect play against a specific hand, but against the range, I don't personally. Again, I'm gonna be humble here. I'm not one person to be like that's good, that's bad. I never do that because I know so I still know so little about the game. But right there, Shemian makes a perfect value raise because of the hand that Sherlock has. But man, like really, what are you targeting? You're targeting king 8, king queen that slow plays, ace 4. I mean, I just think Sherlock has all the combos of Jack 10 there. Okay. All the combos of Jack 10, all the combos of pocket fours. And he could easily blocker lead those hands for the same size, trying to induce Ole to raise him. So I would be a little bit aware of that, but it worked out perfectly. I mean, nice hand Ole, like he found the thin value raise and picks up 700K, where a lot of people, wow. Yuri loves these big jams. Like he loves these big jams with these wheel aces. I was deep with him in a 1K, like I think it was last week or the week before, and like I raised ace 8 suited on the button, and he rejammed ace 3 suited in the small one for like a lot of chips, and I called. I think we chopped, but like yeah, I called, but he loves those big jams, and look, he just got ace jack to fold with ace 4 off.
Yeah, really good timing, and Adamo going to get ace 8 to fold as well, and picks up an important pot here. He gets an extra. He's gonna win some money there. 6 deuce. Wow.
Again, so this might be me overthinking things, but Sherlock opens and min raises a ton of trash. Okay, so when he actually has a hand as good as ace jack on the button, and somebody as aggressive and capable as Yuri, who loves like these wheel aces, if he rejams, I believe you have to call there with ace jack. You have to, because you're at one of the tops of your range. Yuri's got chip lead. He's going to put pressure on you. I know at ICM it sucks, and a lot of people are like, oh, ICM ladder, blah blah, and a lot of people will call me an ICM fish for saying that. But like, is Sherlock there as wide as we've seen him open? I'm just pretty shocked that you're going to raise fold ace jack on the button to Yuri when you dominate a lot of the range. I mean, Yuri can have jack 10, queen jack, tons of hands you dominate, tons of worse ace X. I'm really surprised, but nice hand Yuri to I mean,
can Adamo check raise here? Just 2 overs on this board. He's gonna know that Yuri's just stabbing small here and not really be in too bad a shape, or is this just completely out of line? He does go for it. Well,
that's nice to read you. I mean, I don't see this play. This is sick because he's so short, but this is just beast mode creativity.
And does Yuri just say, hey, like also 10-8, there's a bunch of draws, capable player, but no, I can't. Not a lot of defense for that, right? Too cute. You're asking a lot with the ace 3, even against a hand like that, where it's not really an actual draw. It's just a 2 over draw. It's still dangerous and high level stuff. Look at this Adamo, back to almost $1 million, basically $1 million. I mean, he's in it.
That's a tough spot for Adamo to find because like he's targeting a wide range from the chip leader, but he's also going to think like Yuri could just call me for 100K. He can flick in the float, and then what's Adamo going to do? He doesn't turn a queen or a 10. It's like, is he going to follow through and jam the turn with nothing? No. So it's like he's putting in like a lot of his stack with like a couple of blinds behind, just banking on the fact that Yuri's super wide and is not going to float him. And it's like when that works, it feels great and it looks really good. And when it doesn't work, you feel like, why did I do that? These chips are precious to stay in, and I'm just putting in like 40% of my stack with nothing. Just
Interesting
hopes.
here. Nut flush draw. Gonna lead out. What a interesting lead. Ace jack suited, backdoor diamonds, backdoor straights, ace jack high. Kind of got to be curious. He flatted and now is getting led into, and not a lot of room to maneuver here and get cute, right? The stack is almost going to be 1-to-1 SPR if he calls. And he does call. And
Wow,
what
what a turn.
this is. Oh my
What a
goodness.
turn.
So
Yeah, so Yuri flatted. I like Yuri's float here with the backdoor diamonds, backdoor straight draw. I would think Sherlock would check raise here a lot. He could check call. He can lead. He can do all the options, I think, because he's like second to last now. I don't blame him. I expect him to bet here and be shoving most turns. This is a really bad turn. Two pairs get there. Some straights get there. I'm curious what's going to happen. This is a really fun dynamic turn.
yeah, I don't even have a guess on this one. I was thinking he might shut down, but this is wow. And Yuri, it's just wow. Similar to the Rob Young hand, right? This is almost the same kind of board and situation. The dream of dream comes, and what a just barrels his way out of it. Mamacita finds an aggressive play and really a crazy hand. That was a very, very interesting hand. And yeah, whatever emoji that is, we'll let it play. That is, he could do whatever he wants in that. That was something, a gift.
Yuri snap fold. He didn't think about it. I mean, I get it. Like, you're open ended with nut flush draws. Chip leader. I get he doesn't want to call off wide. Okay, Adam was in bad here. Another thing I want to say, Jeff, about the ace jack there, Sherlock, I think he had 20 blinds on the button. Like, I think a good play as well is just for him to open it up.
Hold on a second. Hold the phone. There he is.
Oh, no.
There he is. Adamo is back in a big way. Yuri from over 4 million, still has 2.8, but man, things changed. Things have changed. That was a big sweat for our dinner bet. That would have been Adamo out the door as the chip leader, kind of everything shaping up for a nice Chick-fil-A outing for us. But now, I don't know. You went to Furman, right? In South Carolina?
I did. I went to Furman. Yeah, that's the FU of the FU15. Yeah.
Yeah. I went to South Carolina and Columbia. So I think we were there at the same time. You're 36.
I graduated in 08.
Yep, me too. Yeah, we played Furman a few times in soccer. They were a top, very good school. I think I'm saying this wrong. Was it Clint Dempsey that went there? No, he went to South Carolina. Yeah, Clint. No. Okay, Clint Dempsey went there, and then Josh Wolf and
Clint Dempsey went to Furman.
Yeah, and then Josh Wolf went to South Carolina, and one other very good player. I can't think of his name. He was a forward for the U.S. national team, really good for a few years. But anyway, yeah. Good quality soccer down there. Have you been back in a long time?
Yeah, I go back once in a while. Most of my family's still in North Carolina, so I go back and visit them from time to time when I can.
Yeah, I want to get back to Columbia. I've heard it's really made a lot of improvements and the city's grown a lot. I'd be curious to see it. Probably haven't been back in 10 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't been to Columbia in a long time. Yeah, man, what a fun few hands here. This has just been blood, like back and forth. Did you see that's the spot with the ace jack on the button versus the ace 4, right? When Sherlock's got, I think he had 20 blinds. I could be wrong. When he had ace jack there, it may just be correct with ICM for him just to shove. I don't know if I could be, again, I'm an ICM fish, so I could be wrong. I'm not gonna sit up here and claim to be an expert. But he opens ace jack and then gets ace 4 denying his equity, jamming on him, and then he ends up denying ace jack with ace 4 right afterwards. So that's crazy.
Interesting flop here and turn where Ole going to feel a little better. He's got some key cards going on here. He's got a queen and he's got a heart, and AD ace king looking a little light. And look at this, Ole going to improve to the second nut flush. There's a possible straight flush, but effectively got to believe he's got the best hand, right? There's no betting from AD with the heart, ace of hearts, and Ole got a decision here what to do on sizing. He does go for about a third pot.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, this can target any random heart that Derzbowski can have. It might target like an ace queen or some other hand that doesn't believe him, that gets stubborn, and occasionally you can induce a raise. Occasionally you can induce a raise. He's going to think that Derzbowski is going to barrel his ace of hearts probably on the turn, so he's pretty comfortable value betting his queen of hearts, and I think his small sizing is really good there. But look, I mean, nice job, Ole. Like I kind of counted him out. He was down to 10 bigs. I'm like, Ole's just had nothing, and now he's chip leader. You know, like he gets that one spot, the jack's the ace four. The guy flops an ace, but fortunately he hits a jack as well. And now a couple things go his way, and now he's chip leader.
Yeah, and no one's short now. Everyone.
Yeah, we're gonna have a battle. We're gonna be here a while with these sticks, with their stacks and the distributions. It's gonna be a battle.
Yes, this is definitely got the makings of a instant classic. Although you never know, man. These guys go for it. We see some wide shoves, couple coolers, couple things, and you really just never know is the answer. But it is it does feel like it could be a long way. Appreciate you guys watching, and let us know where you're watching from. We'll announce we'll start the giveaway pretty soon once we lose another player. 2,500 watch right now. Appreciate you guys being here. This is episode 1 of season 2023 of the Super Millions. As we mentioned, started tracking this super ranking since January 17th. There will be prizes awarded at a later time announced, but there are a lot of satellite options to come in on for this series. What's the satellite you think is the best value in here that you've seen for to get in Super Millions, or do you always direct buy?
No, I always try to satellite. There's a really good one on Sunday. It's a 10K 10-seater. That's the best one. There's a
1K.
Sorry, 1K 10-seater and a 1K 7-seater on Sundays. Those are the best value satellites for sure.
Can you win if you can win multiple? So if you win it, you just have another ticket.
Yeah, well, they actually don't give you tickets if you win multiple. If you're already in the tournament, then they will just give you 10,000 tournament dollars. If you are like, if you play it and bust it, and let's say you're playing another tournament on Sunday, then it will automatically re-enter you back into it. But yeah, the satellites can get expensive. I mean, it's awesome when you get in cheap. There's a path, the $100 satellites into the 1K satellites. So some guys can spin up $100 into a 10K buy-in into 300K. It's the dream. But other times you could be in satellites for a lot if you're not disciplined and if you're not careful.
Yeah, and this is, I'll tell you what, if Mama's not careful with the Queen Jack suited here, he is going to get in trouble. And look at Adamo, hit that 2-pair money card and slip it over. He unblocks clubs, and he is got his man who's debating about going for a value bet. Doesn't go. Very disciplined there. And Adamo showing the class. I mean, that's the thing about Adamo. It's funny when you think of aggressive players, like you kind of think, oh, maybe they should just be aggressive always, so like it's balanced. But look, they still find ways. We find the checks, find the traps, find the balance. And Adamo goes and hits a big card, but Mama not going to bite there. And Ole with the 7-5 suited.
Adamo right back in it. He was down to check raise the Queen 10 with 300K behind, back to 2.8. And I mean, yeah, you can't. I mean, Adamo played his hand. I mean, he made a wide defend. Obviously, have to defend the flop, and then got kind of sticky on the turn, and it worked out. He rivered 2-pair, but I mean, great check back by Sherlock. I mean, Sherlock could have gone for thin value there with Queen Jack, but yeah, I mean, he could have done it, but I like the discipline, check back, not get greedy. The chat on my end is kind of blurry, so I haven't really been able to read the chat or anything, but I don't know if that's if there's anything. I think some people are asking some questions, but I can't really read it.
Yeah, we've got a great audience here. We appreciate you guys. Let us know where in the world you are watching from. We are enjoying a Super Millions final table, season 2023, episode 1 underway. Technically the 6th episode, well, the 6th week of the season, I believe. There's been 5, and Yuri is at 3 final tables. So doing good work, and he's got a healthy stack here. Tough seat to have, but going for a Jack 10 open, picking it up and making moves on his way. The Brazilians, what would you say the most improved country is over the last 5-10 years?
Brazil, not even close. Brazil, not even.
Right? I mean, Prazer, all the Brazilians out there, they really do seem to have a nice representation at these final tables as well. There's always like 2 or 3 guys at the Super Million final table, it seems.
I mean, yeah, Brazilians are just, I think, great at building their small communities and their study groups and holding each other accountable. And there's, multiple groups of them that I think they share hands and databases on players and really use study tools really well. And your average Brazilian now is like 3 times better than your average American, in my view. Wow. I don't mean that to say like any disrespect, but I just think that your average Brazilian you run into, used to play with like ego, a bit sloppy, a bit that is your average, right? And now like your average Brazilian is tough and taking almost every spot, and just like you're like, wow, like the average player, So poker is hard, and it's definitely really tough to stay on top of things and to understand the game trends. But yeah, man, Brazil is really impressive as a country. Their love of poker, and the stables that they've built, and I've got some Brazilian friends that are just phenomenal players. And yeah, I mean, Yuri final tabling this like every single week. I mean, I don't know. He's clearly doing a lot of things that I'm not doing. So I can
Look at Adamo here, get another very special river. I mean, he is probably, does he go small, try to target a 2-pair hand? It's hard to get raised here, but if you don't have a ace, so these sizings are always fun to me. See what players go with here. Do they go polarizing kind of bigger? He does go a little bit bigger here, but I think that's just a matter of how he perceives or saying he's going to react with the strong 2-pair or type of hand and what he would do. So let's see. He does have him on here for.
It's about half a pot. I mean, these boards really are skilled to play these boards with like a 4-liner straight with, it's tough. The dynamic, you're really targeting 2 pairs. It's against a big blind range, right? So you're not really targeting too many sets. You're targeting the exact kind of hand that this guy has. You're targeting, King Jack, King 10, Queen Jack. You're targeting all these 2-pair hands, and it's a really good value bet. Wow,
does get paid. Adamo, what a ride he has had.
That's his reputation, I think, just because he's perceived as so loose. But I don't hate the call. But I was surprised. I thought he was going to fold that one. Man, I will say it's really interesting. The ace-4 to ace-jack spot against Yuri. If Yuri had ace-jack offsuit, I think he would have 3-bet folded the ace-jack against the ace-4 of clubs. But he had ace-jack of diamonds, right? So he flats because he's suited. He floats the queen 9, queen 9-5 to club board, gets the perfect turn where he turns open-ended and a flush draw, and then ends up having to fold to the overjam by the inferior ace high. Yeah. It's just such an interesting game. I mean, you have a better hand, you turn tons of equity and you fold. And if you just had a worse hand pre-flop, you 3-bet and win.
And what's even crazier is Adamo was 1 of 9 by a large margin. Then he was 6 of 6, basically out the door, and he is now 1 of 6 in quick order.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy how he's able to do that. You see a couple light get-throughs, right? Timing-wise, it just gets it through.
The get-throughs, and he got lucky. I mean, he got it in bad, the ace-4 to the ace-jack. But if you can stick around in this, the blinds get really big. If you can just stick around and survive, then, good things can happen if you get the right distribution. And that's kind of why Mama Sherlock didn't make a thin value jam with the queen-jack on that river. Some guys could have said, look, I turned top pair. Adamo is a hero. He could call me with worse. I'll go really thin here. And he would have been out, so he's still in with 1.1.
And ace, this is almost the same spot. Well, ace-4 again, missing completely, and Adamo with a massive flop here. He's got the gut shot over, second up flush draw versus a late position raise, and really just kind of connecting with boards right now, getting nice runouts, nice situations. And certainly with the king high gut shot over, he could go a couple different ways. Does just decide, hey, I'm making hands, things are going well, let me just call. And now he's got his opponent, picks up a gut shot, ace-4 off, no diamond. Interesting. I think this could be Yuri just so good at understanding where he's at and what's going on, but at the same time, maybe he could anticipate that Adamo does check raise a lot of flush draws possibly. So I don't know. See what he does if he wants to give up here or take a stab.
Wow. What a run out. Yuri just got wrecked here.
It's a crazy run out.
I mean, if Adamo somehow finds a check raise, I'm going to be just blown away. Oh, wow. I mean,
I think he just goes big.
Probably, and he's going to get called if he goes big. Dude, he finds the check. That's incredible. It's incredible. How does he find the check? How does he not go value, try to target like a queen or a 10? How does he just know? Somehow Yuri just backs into the wheel here. Oh my gosh.
How
Like,
does he? That's crazy. Based on it plays, like how often is Yuri betting here? It can't be that often.
I mean,
He's gonna. I mean, this is gonna be a full stuff, right? I mean, he's gonna
oh
get. This
my
is a big sizing
goodness.
coming.
I mean, here's the thing. It's just an incredible check. If Yuri, of course, has to bet. If Adamo is going to make a huge check raise, if Yuri can find the fold, I'm gonna lose it. I might just have to just go to sleep.
We might have to come back from a commercial break if this does go bet if big bet fold. I mean, this is too high.
I mean, I'm guessing Adam is going to go 1.8 here. Just, I mean, he goes for it all. I mean, it's just genius. I mean, I don't know. How does he know? He makes, I mean, it's a small bet on the flop, right? So it's like he's not perceived that Yuri has too much of a hand. Yuri looks capped, checks back turn. Yuri's going to level himself, be like, look, I look super capped here. I'd never have a flush. I'm top of my range with a wheel and I get check shoved on. I don't see how Yuri's going to fold here. If he folds here, it's just so unlucky. It's just so unlucky for
he's
Yuri.
taking his time. You know, so he acts pretty quickly, like the jacks, and I mean, it's different, but still, like I don't know, like what bluffs does he? Maybe he says does he have like king jack with a diamond? Right, that might be a good bluff.
Yeah.
Jack nine with the diamond.
King jack. I don't think he would take like a hand like a queen of diamonds would just call, right, as a bluff catcher. So it's never worried about the queen diamonds X. So it's got to be like a king jack, king nine, even like an ace jack, ace nine. I mean, I wonder how much ace X, like let's say Adamo has ace three with the ace of diamonds. That would be a really good hand, or ace 10 off with the ace of diamonds. Even a hand like king 10 off with the king 10 of diamonds. There's enough bluffs there. I mean, Yuri's going to take his time here because it's a huge spot. And Yuri's just like, man, I got fifth the last 2 weeks, fifth or sixth. Adamo comes all the way back. He 3-outs me, ace queen to ace, my ace queen versus ace four. And now, like, just put in jail. How does he fold? How does he fold?
They say think long, think wrong. He's thinking for a long time, and I think I think he's gonna find a fold somehow. I just do, even though I think it's insane. You're right. I don't agree. I think they're like it would be. I think you're supposed like I think you're calling is like the play all the time. I'm just saying I feel like he's thinking so long about it, and I don't know. Is the Damo really going to go for it? It's just tough. It's also against the Damo, right? It is against the Damo, which makes the kicker like it's so crazy. I love the matchup. I love the Super Millions layout now. I love how they put the two profiles. Look at that, 11 and 10 million earnings on GG. You see the 2022 ranking, two top 50 ranked players in this format. 2023, Yuri already off to a number 5 overall, 2 final tables. I believe that's what, four. I mean, just insane.
It's disgusting.
Just
I mean, it's disgusting.
This is the hand. This is definitely the hand of the tournament so far. This is the one.
Not even close. And Adamo, you know, he is so perceived to be so bluffy and aggressive that he's gonna take all those bluffs that I said. Yuri literally only loses to a flush, obviously, and I think almost all the flushes can go for value, right? Because like Yuri would probably bet all of his flushes on the turn. So I think Adamo can comfortably check shove almost all of his flushes, maybe all of them. So Yuri's got to think, cool. Look, Adamo's got to have 2 diamonds in his hand that he defends the big blind, that he doesn't check raise the flop. Some of Adamo's flush draws may check raise the flop, right? So you get to a reduced range on the turn. Okay, so he has 2 diamonds in hands in the big blind. He's defending a wide range. He has
does call and you're right. I mean, I was saying it would have been like it would have been almost too insane, right? It would be like out of this world to fold there. I thought like, and I would call, of course, as anyone would. You could see the class that he was even like that strongly considering folding. He knew he somehow could have got just smoked there, but you're right, just too much. And Adamo dominating just 6.5. What a ride he's had, first to sixth to first. And here he is. He just steps right in. Big pot, 3.8 million. Tens to queen 6. Sweaty turn, heart, 5, 9 of hearts. There's a 9. Little sweat action. 4-1 favorite. Can he fade the river? And it is a 9, and it is a double for AD. And wow. I mean, this is high intensity action. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for the faint of heart right now. Holy man. Wow. What, I mean, can't blink, guys. There's no bathroom breaks. There's no waiting. There's no ordering Uber Eats. There's just, you got to stick in and watch, because there's creativity, there's aggression, there's everything you can ask for in episode 1, season 2023, Super Millions. Nick, What is happening? This is cassettes are happening, bluffs are happening. Nines, AD in the small flats hits his hand. This is a lot. We got to do the giveaway soon. I'm going to queue it up. 2.7 thousand, 2,700 people watching. Welcome in. Hope you're having fun. Jeff Gross alongside Nick Maimone. Calling the action. We will play to a winner today. Someone's going to get a title, and we are going to see AD go ahead and win that 4 million now. So very healthy stacks. Our friend Mamacita, Mama Sherlock is the short stack, and there's nothing to give here. Everyone playing very, very high level.
I mean, Adamo just, I mean, obviously that hand got kind of handed to him on a plate in a sense, but that's so much skill that like to maximize value, right? Like that, right? He calls pre, he just calls the flop. He doesn't raise. He doesn't lead the turn. Some guys lead the turn, and maybe Yuri just folds. Yuri would probably just fold, right? He led the turn. He checks the turn, lets Yuri somehow hit the gut shot. Doesn't lead the river, right? Like Adamo could have. There's so many different points in this hand where Adamo could have made less chips. He could have led the turn with the flush. Yuri folds. He could have led the river. Yuri raises and then folds to the shove, right? Checks the river. Yuri bets. Adamo says, oh, I'm going to be super greedy in the perfect spot, right? Doesn't go 1.8 million. He's like, I'm going to go for it all. Gets the full 3 million on the river, right? 2 blinds went in on the pre-flop. Like 2.5. What? Yeah, 2 blinds went in pre-flop. 2 blinds went in on the turn or on the flop. So there's like, it's like a pot of, what is it, 10 blinds in there on the river, and they got in.
It was check on the turn, wasn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It's check on the turn, right? There's only 10 blinds in there, but the way the board ran out and the range is how they interact. It almost, I mean, Yuri bets 500K, like pretty standard. And Adamo, because of his reputation, he literally goes for it all and gets, I guess big blind 60K. So what did they get in? 2.8 million on the river. So he gets like 45 blinds on the river, right? Gets Yuri, who's an elite player, one of the best in the world, to put in 45 blinds on the river into a 10 big blind pot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, phenomenal. If I was Adamo, I probably would have messed that hand up. I might have led the turn some frequency. I would have led the river at some frequency, trying to get some kind of value from a queen or a 10. Or I would have just check raised small, like for like 1.7, 1.8, because you're going to get called that size a lot more frequently from a hero call. Yuri just doesn't have a hand good enough to call all in. Like Yuri had one of the few hands like ace 4 or like a set, or like, because Yuri never has a flush there, right? So like, what is Adamo targeting with the check shove all in on the river? What's he targeting there? He's targeting Yuri to have like 2 pair or a set that he checked back, or somehow backdoor to wheel that he can get maximum value from. And I just never would have found, I just never would have been able to get it all there. Like, and that, I just know that there's just no way in real time I would have stacked him.
And Ole here, speed and king 4 suited, has nothing. AD with an 8. Tricky board to hang on, does do so, and actually improves to 2 pair. Very interesting. These are the spots that are super, like, it's so, I feel like the great player, they just rarely get in spots where they have no showdown and no plan. You know, like here, he literally has like the worst hand he can have. Yep. And it's like, at times it's just recognizing when to give up and then when to not. And even here, the opponent's got a decent hand, but he could put a lot of pressure on him. Let's see what Ole goes with. Does bet small. So interesting. I mean, I think versus this, well, less than half pot, not super small, but AD, not a, I mean, it's a polarized spot. Very polarized. I mean, you just, Ole is capable of value betting like a modest diamond, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's a wide range. I'd say like the 10 or better. I mean, the 9's like kind of thin. He's going 335 right into 816. So like polarized would be like if he's going like 600, 700K plus, you know, then he's like saying, hey, I've got the king or the ace of diamonds, or like, right?
I mean, polarizing,
side,
yeah. In the sense of betting this board, it's like you either, yeah, generally you're gonna have a very very strong or just complete air. He's on the complete air side, AD trying to sniff it out, and this is where the power, when you know that your opponent feels you're such a great player, like Oli carries that weight.
wow,
It's just
wow.
hard, right? I feel like you level yourself all the time, and
Yeah.
look at this, just gets the guy to make the incorrect decision. And masterclass again seen here. All players really excited. I think so many players have played so well today.
Yeah, I think that's a great bet. A great bet sizing by Oleg. He doesn't need to go super big there. If he goes super big there, he's trying to, saying, "Hey, I've got the king or the ace of diamonds." He's making his range a lot like just a very few value hands if he goes a big sizing. But if he goes that kind of 40% pot sizing, he can have all of the diamonds or all, more diamonds, 5 or 6 diamonds. And just told a story to Durs that they've got a better hand. This is an interesting flop. Have some fun here. What do you think, Jeff? Do you think Adamo's gonna triple here? Do you think he's going to check raise? I would, if I'm gonna guess, I'm gonna say Adamo's gonna triple off here.
Yeah, that seems to suit more his style. Because he also hands like Jack, Queen, Queen, King get to check back or such like too. I think it just is more conducive to go bet and depend. I mean, obviously depends on the run out. He could just get there.
And this is crazy, but I would not be shocked to see Adamo literally overbet c-bet here. Okay, I would not be shocked to see Adamo bet 600K on this flop. Just start off with an overbet c-bet. I think it's a really cool spot to do it. He can put tons of pressure on Durs. Durs does hit this board some. Wow. Well, you're going to turn the straight with the open-ended straight flush draw. So why would you bet big?
180 people already have hit the thumbs up today. Really appreciate that. If you are enjoying, again, got Nick Maimone FU15 in the building here. And what a card, just a little back. He's got the second nuts, but also the spade straight flush action going there too. Ace 10 going to hate that card though. Absolutely hate it. I mean, it's definitely, a 7 would have been really problematic. This particular card definitely shows there is problems potentially in paradise. So AD may just get off there as he does. I want to remind you guys that when we lose one more player, we'll start the giveaway. You guys I'll put that info in, but please hit the thumbs up. And if you want to do the hands up, which was pinned earlier in the link, we can get it back up to guess the winning hand today. It's a progressive jackpot every week here, where a link if you guess. And this is two playable hands, a tier 1 ace king suited and 6s. So let's see how big Ole goes. He does just call. I'm sorry. He does just call. Wow. Was that that's interesting. And look at this board.
Yeah, I think that spot with Adamo having so much equity with the over and the open-ended straight draw and the wrapping around with some of the blockers of top pair and also having backdoor flush draw, I think I would have, and I could be so off, but I would like a huge c-bet. Durs Blisky does have a lot of 10x in his range, has a lot of hands that wants to hold on. So I would honestly try to just blast there as Adamo as chip leader and bet pot or overbet that flop. But he ends up getting a small bet and then he hits on the turn. But it's such a bad turn for Durs Blisky because now King Jack gets there, all the Queen Jacks, King Queens, tons of hands hit. So Durs Blisky can easily get off of it. And Durs Blisky could have lost a lot more there. If Adamo checked there and Durs Blisky bets and Adamo could have check raised, or Adamo could have c-bet massive and made a lot more off the hand. But I mean, obviously I can see the cards. Wow. Okay. I don't really understand this bet.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Timeout. I mean, we need a timeout. We need a timeout. This is a silly deal. And as we see, look at the resumes, 9 million, 10 million, two other of the number 2 ranked player, Oli Shemian, for Super Millions in 2022. Now it's 2023 season. And this is absolutely, this is, you don't wish this on anyone. This is a crazy run out. Adamo, I mean, he can never put him on ace king suited, but he is going to get to, 2.6 million SPR less than 1. Is it just all of it? I mean, what else is it?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's all of it.
dude, I mean, if he blasts like that on the turn with sixes, I don't understand it. It's like when you actually hit the two outers, you have to go for all of it maximize
Yeah.
value, right? Because most of the time you're like, I don't get the play. Like, I thought just given like Adamo's played his value hands pretty slow, right? Like you saw like the Jack 8, like some other hands, like he's played him pretty cautiously. And then he had sixes there and he was just blasting 80% pot there on the turn on ace king 3 jack.
Wow. I
And
mean,
it's going to be tough for anybody to catch him now with this lead. I mean, what a sick river for Ole. I mean, the guy's got 2 outs. I mean, poker is just brutal like that. Ole lays a perfect trap for him, gets Adamo to bet 80% pot, 800K on the turn. He's got 2 outs. And if the river's brick there, I think Adamo is jamming as well, right? Like, so like poker's like for all the people watching, I mean, it's just a lesson of like how much you can't be attached to a result of any specific tournament because like Ole outplayed Adamo there, but Adamo just got super lucky.
for sure. Look at this. Speaking of, it just feels
Yeah.
tens to king six suited. Tens are in a commanding lead going to the river, has to fade a king or a six. It's not going to come tens. So we're still four-handed. Damo, he's the guy. If you ever want to see short stack, look at this. It's lined up. Could you script it better? You're 1 of 9. You're then 6 of 6. Now you're 1 of 4. Everyone's got about the same stack. This is the Damo time. This is, you're going to get to see a pretty much just a clinic and closing out here. I think, well, look at this. Just it's just a full enchilada. That's not a play everyone's going to make all the time, but he is going for it. And he has that separation. And guys, girls, we have the giveaway going. This could go quick. This could end quick based on stack sizes and what's going on from this point on. So guys, if you want to enter in the giveaway, please hit the thumbs up, type in millions space Nick space your GG username and hurry, because this could be over fast. 2,500 watching. Appreciate you guys. Season 2023 Super Millions episode 1 underway, and we are four-handed playing for a lot of Sherbert. Who's going to be Herbert? Adamo wants to be Herbert today. He wants all of it. Ship the Sherbert to Herbert. Someone's getting a lot of money. Someone's getting a title. Adamo, what a force. Just the guy he ran so hot after hitting that. It's crazy too, right? You said ace 4 suited. Gets it in versus Yuri. He's just out in 6 and he's steaming. Yeah. Instead, he's looking like he's going to grab another title in the Super Millions format. Let's see what happens. And we will have a super ranking leaderboard update at the end, but this is so far Adamo time, almost 9 million. And isn't it kind of crazy? He's got it all teed up. Everyone's got like exactly 2 million. He's so crazy. It feels like he constructs the stack sizes, even with bet sizing, gets him now short. Now he's just going and ripping it. And man, really, really exciting day of poker today. So millions space Nick space your GG poker username. We will pick a winner and it will be $50 or $100. I think we gave them Adamo. Is that it? Is it Adamo versus the field right now? I think we gave like 4 guys that are out.
I think you gave him Sherlock as well, because Adamo and Sherlock came in as 1 and 2 in chips. They were both the short stacks, and now they're essentially the 1 and 2 or massive chip leader and tied for second. I mean, it's just
all right. We'll give it to him. I'm gonna give. What about dinner wise? You got the dinner potential. You got a lot. Am I even in? Is this all your guys? I have Mama.
Yeah, I think I've got the other 3. I think I've got Arsene, Dursbliski, and Adamo, I believe. And I think you've got Sherlock, but yeah.
It's Mama versus the world. And AD turns a pretty nice equity turn card here. He's got a queen. He's got a figure, could be good, a heart, but look at that. The power of Mama there, putting it in the spot. Also, there's lots to play for. Look at the payouts. Good timing, because second, third, and fourth, that is sort of what's all. It feels like it's everyone versus the world. 319. You can't just give it to Adamo, but let's assume he's safe in first. There's a big difference. You're talking about 100 grand between these 3 stacks that are on the shorter side, shorter same stack depth. So, AD, everyone recognizing that Queen King gets a walk. So Adamo's not just going to automatically rip in anything, but does give a walk there. And Queen King, though, would be put in a tough spot as we see a developing situation here. There it is, 6-7 suited. Whoa.
I knew Adamo was going to jam there. I mean, it's like a hand that you're never getting called. Like you have a lot of playability against the hands that call you, right? I expect Malinov to limp call here.
I think he's just going to shove.
I think he's going to limp. Wow. I think he's going to limp call to induce, because Adamo is really putting the pressure on, and you want to limp trap with this hand. because Adam was really trying to put the ICM pressure on. Yeah, he
Nicely done. Yeah, I guess it depends on what risk tolerance you have. If you just want to induce and it is strong enough, he is dominating. It is going to likely work out well for him, as he would need to hit running fours. There's half of that puzzle.
Yeah. No,
that would be a little overkill.
That's 100% the right play by Monov. A lot of guys would be scared here, like, oh, I just want to take the ladder, I just want to take the pot down, I'm just going to shove and win the two blinds. But you've got to embrace that variance when you're playing these stakes. You have such a huge, you know, you dominate Adamo's range. You limp there, you get Adamo to shove super wide. You've got to embrace the variance. Sometimes you're four-handed here, you want to have a chance to win. And if
I like it. I think it's for sure the better play. I think you will more often than not see just a shove in this particular situation, because you're like, oh, what if he checks back? What if he if he shoves with 8-7 suited and I'm out? You know, that's I think, but you're right. I think that's just too strong a hand. I think there would be a cutoff, right? Ace-8 off, or certain hands he's just going to shove, you know, that are not that strong. But that is a premium, and he got a perfect scenario there. Puts himself in a different category now.
Yeah. And against certain players that are going to be checking back tons, you know, that are tighter, 100%, like jamming is going to be the right play. But you've got to know your opponent. You got to know that Adamo is like ripping tons. And when he's got chip leader like this, he will go for it. And if you limp, he's going to attack you all day. So you've got to expand your value range there. You got to expand your limp trapping range. Versus Simpson, nice job, Arseni. You know, I mean, you're looking at these ladders, right? It's like fourth is 150. It's like, do you care more about like trying to get third or fourth? Like, because if Arseni jams there, he's essentially saying, hey, I want to get third or maybe second. If you limp there, you're saying, hey, I believe in myself. I want to have a chance to win this. You know, and make twice what I'm making. Because the only way he's gonna have a chance is he gets a double and gets another double. And like I believe in Arseni. I believe in him. I believe in Durs too. These guys are made of steel. Some of these guys, their mental game is very strong. I would really just love to know who Mama Sherlock is, really, honestly. Like, I wonder if it's somebody I know well or somebody I've played with live. I just so curious. GG is tough with you know, so many of these guys being real named and then some of them having screen names and being able to change the screen name. Oh, it's unlucky river for Arseni. He got 2 streets of value with the best hand with bottom pair. Gets rivered. It's unfortunate.
Yep. Oh, big hands. Wow. 4-handed 3 pairs. Kings, 8s, 7s. And let's see. We've got potential.
Oh, what? Sherlock just finds the fold.
Wow.
No.
I mean,
no.
Wow. Let's see. 4s, the ace comes on out, and a deuce, and he is going to need a miracle.
1-7 or the 3-3.
Oh, wow. Hello. We hear about it. Everyone talks about it. The chat must go wild because we know what that means. It always comes 7. We've been hearing about it. People talk about it. That is a knockout 3-handed, and wow. 2, that was intense. I'm not gonna lie. I rarely get like jump out of the chair intense, but the chat is losing it. The giveaway's live, 2,600 on. We got this is just wow.
This is such a sick game. I mean, Durs has been so patient. Like I said, you saw Durs. He had kings against Haxton's queens, played his heart out, super patient. What a great fold by Sherlock. Just snap folds 8s there on the button. 4-handed. Just oh, I got 8s. Okay, cool. Like, what? Like, the guy's so aggressive. How like that's amazing. I'm impressed. Just snap folding 8s. Didn't even think about it. I mean, if he thought about it for a while and folded, it's like, okay, cool. But he snap folded. Didn't even think about it. He's like, cool, this guy's raising off 16 blinds. This guy's nutted. Sherlock, I would like to see a check back there. I think 7-4 off. I think against Adamo, I think it's going to be play better as just a check back. You're not really trying to isolate 3-handed. You're not trying to put the ICM pressure on Adamo when he's chip leader. I just think that's reckless. I mean, Arseni, I don't love the jam there with 7s, to be honest. I don't fault him for it. I think it's probably fine, but Durs is very patient. He's opening off 16 blinds. What a river. But I think Arseni, you know, he limp trapped correctly. He gets some luck. hits the one outer, and now he's gonna give Adamo a fight. Like Adamo's a great player, but I mean this Malinov guy's impressed me. I don't know who he is, but he's a very good player.
Impressive. And Adamo in the driver's seat gets a walk with 6-2 off. And
obviously Adamo's a huge favorite, but I'm not counting Malinov out. I believe Sherlock, unless he gets super lucky, is going to get third. I mean, he's a great player, nothing against him. But I just think the way it's playing out, I just see heads up with Malinov against Adamo, and it's going to be a fun heads up.
Man, this is three-handed action at its finest. Some great folds, great plays, great aggression, and of course, always fun runouts. We've had some wild ones. That was 7 on the river. What a moment. What a moment. Man, that one I didn't expect. Sometimes you can feel it. That one I didn't feel, but now Arseni with the queens sees the raise here. And let's see what he is going to do. Does he ever trap maybe kings? Do you think he ever would flat kings and deuce from Adamo, or just not in the situation with what's at stake and the pay jumps with queens? Do you expect a flat there ever with kings or aces with Adamo in the big blind, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's reasonable to mix it up sometimes. I think Sherlock, when he's opening into Adamo's big blind, should have a reasonable range. So I think right there you want to just 3-bet your value and just hope that Sherlock has some kind of hand to 4-bet jam, right? Like obviously if you flat there, Adamo can go nuts, but he's also gonna call sometimes and you go 3-way, or he's going to just fold sometimes. You know, you don't have like a guarantee that Adamo is just gonna squeeze because it goes raise call. He's got to have the right hand to do it, or a reasonable hand. But like if Sherlock's opening the button, he should have a reasonable range. And like even if he has a hand like ace-5 suited or like a smaller pair, you want to 3-bet induce the queens, kings, aces most of the time, I'd imagine, to try to get Sherlock's whole stack, get it in pre, get heads up. You know, you would hate if Sherlock has like 9s or 10s there and you flat and it comes like overs and you don't get his whole stack, or he raises ace-5 suited and he doesn't 4-bet jam when you induce, right? Like, so I think that spot you just want to play. This particular spot, I think you'd want to play honest. Just you know, see if Arseni bluffs here. Adamo has an easy call.
Yeah, the float with the queen high could have the best hand, backdoor draw, and does now go for it. So pretty, you know, again, Adamo just finds a way, kind of get the max by checking back, and he's just gonna pick up another 250 here. I don't see a scenario where he would raise. Why would he's got the 10 with the 9 kicker?
Yeah.
Board just seems like pretty standard. He's down to 56 seconds on that chess clock. Actually, 36 seconds for Mama. We could see a clock come into order. Gonna announce when it gets heads up the winner of this giveaway. He does go for a raise. I mean, I'm just shocked at this, honestly.
Yeah, it's surprising because I feel like Arseni either has most hands that beat you or just bluffing. So I don't think a raise accomplishes much there.
That's where I get worried. That's where I get really worried about when I'm like that, when that like stuff like that, I'm just like, I'm definitely not doing that. And it's probably right. And so it's like,
I mean, because Arseni's just checking, you know, his ace highs, and he'd have to have like a worse 10. There's not enough worse 10s. Like if Adamo had like king 10, I'm fine with it, right? Like a better kicker, because you get called by some worse 10s. But like there, I don't know. I just don't see enough worse hands you're going to call by. A 6 would be beautiful here. 6 of spades would be fantastic. I want to see a matchup here. A 6 of spades. We've seen Arseni like check raising with the jack 2 with the under open ended here.
wow.
Oh, he overbets.
Yeah, just about pot, just slightly over. I mean, the 10 and the 6, he has.
I mean, Adamo's never folding here, I don't think. No, man.
Wow, such a clean river.
Okay. I'd expect Arseni to triple it, but again, all the draws miss. Is such a good run out for Adamo. Such a good run out. He finds it. I mean, wow. I mean, the 6 blocker is irrelevant, right? It's not like 6-4 or anything is ever there. Just 6-4 of hearts is one hand. So you have one blocker for a value combo. But man, this would be amazing if this gets there. I don't think it will. I think Adam was just too stuck. Wow.
Oh, it didn't think long. I mean, look at this clock. We are heads up. All of a sudden, I will announce the winner in a second. And look at this shot clock. They basically have no time left on the clock, which I've never seen a double run out before. But Adamo might make quick work of this. 12.5 to 2 million. Wow.
Man, this is a tough spot for Arseni. I mean, I like the check raise. You can check call as well. I like the check raise, but it's just such a bad run out, right? Like all the draws miss. Like sure, Adamo's gonna have some draws, right? Adamo could have King Jack or Queen Jack. Those better draws that you can get to fold. King Queen, he could have hearts. So you can get Adamo to fold the better hands that are draws. Where if Arseni checks and gives up, Adamo could bluff him with a missed draw. So like I understand doing it. It's just, can you ever get Adamo to fold 10? I don't know. On that run out, it's really hard because all the draws miss, right? Jack 8, King Jack, King Queen, Queen Jack, 7 8, hearts, like everything misses. So you're saying that you've got like a better 10, like Queen 10 plus, or like 2 pair or a set, and it's just, I don't know. They're really, really, really bad run out for Arseni. Great game. Played awesome. Wow. Checks back top pair, gets the big bet and raises the turn. I love it. What a great play. Wow, Adamo was 6 of 6. He was down to 400K. I mean, wow. Why did I doubt him? Obviously, everything's worked out. That's 6 on the river. The hand against Yuri. I mean, some great poker.
Yeah. Wow. All right, I announced the winner right now. It is Big Sexy Spitfire 69 on GG. You won. You are gonna have a ticket come to your account. It'll be 50. Actually, I think it's just 100, right? It's gonna be these both the guys are 100. Is there any sweat? I guess Mama down to 10 blinds. Adamo closing in on another title. You can see the earnings 10 million to 2 million. 2022 results number 156. Adamo number 19, and getting off to a fast start here in 2023 with a massive lead, 13 to 1 to close it out. What's the odds of Adamo to win it? It's high. He has got
reasonably.
What would you say? What is the real odds, do you think? If he's 13, is it he's wins 19 out of 20?
80 to 1.
80 to 1. Wow.
I mean, Mama Shrug's a great player, but like, I don't know. I just don't say it. No, the realistic odds would be like obviously much lower, but like I believe the actual odds are 80 to 1 or something, 50 to 1. Just he has all the momentum. I mean, Sherlock has nothing to lose. I mean, it's really fortunate for Sherlock to ladder up like he did after getting short, after kind of like, you know, getting some unfortunate spots. I mean, he could have been out against Yuri, right? He jammed that ace-4 against Yuri on the turn. Like he was dominated. He was like 25% equity or something. 20% equity. I don't know. Yeah, maybe 25 on the turn. And wow. Well, we see a little bit of hope here.
Oh, 6 is the force. Now it starts with 1. It's just been Adamo's type of day, but he's saying bring it on 92% to the turn. Got to fade a 4.55% for a 4, and not this time. Not going to be a magical river. I mean, we did see Adamo play great, but he also did get some really wild runouts where he's got his opponents with top of range and he gets there. But again, not over. 2.3 million.
To give him credit, like I said, the King 9 he played masterfully. The 6s was extremely lucky. I mean, it was a bit ambitious, and he just got bailed out. In my humble opinion. And then the what was it? The ace-4. I mean, the standard. He was short. He got it in bad at 30% equity, and he got lucky there. But like, it's very standard. Like I didn't see Adamo do anything. He didn't make any bad plays, right? He made some aggressive plays with the King 5. That was an ambitious rejam against Yuri. And then the ace-4 reshove, which is fine, but luck was on his side for sure.
Yeah, well, still something to play for. Congrats to the winner there. We did announce the winner, $100, almost 3,000 watching today for season 2023, episode 1. Appreciate everyone being here. We will have a massive shows for this whole season. Excited about it. Got the guests lined up for the next 4 weeks. Having people reach out a lot now about being a guest, which is really cool. A lot of people liking the show, enjoying it. I hope you guys are doing the same. And we are happy to have Nick today. And Nick, where can they follow? You mentioned the nonprofit in Honduras. Is there any other places people can follow along with your action or buy action you anything?
I don't use social media too much. I mean, the Instagram is at empathy into action. And then the website is empathyiintoaction.org. And then I have a poker Instagram at FU_15. But it's just private, but so people can follow me there if they wanted to. Yeah, I appreciate this. This has been a lot of fun, and I've learned a lot. And definitely realized I wouldn't have made some good plays. So
great to have you on. And this is actually with a pair and heads up hard to make. And he's got an 8. He's got kind of some key cards for value hands. And look at the Damo, go for a light bet and get called. Great. And you know what? Your mommy, your short stack, you're playing one of the best in the world. You want a chance for a hero call under the bright lights. I get it. Yeah. And it just wasn't the right moment for it, but I can't blame him. And listen, hard to make a pair. Antonio always says it.
Yeah, he's got a pair, he's got a straight blocker, a flush blocker, and that was a great sizing by Adamo to choose pot there to get heroed. I mean, that was a really amazing value bet. I don't think I ever would have gone that size. It was nicely done, and I don't hate the call, I don't fault the call.
So we see Queen 9 down to shoving all in. There it is on the fanned out on the sides. You can see the results from the players. Adamo is a seasoned vet here in this Super Millions, and here he's going to limp A7 suited, A10. Wow, this could be it, because this is definitely middle pair with the 10 of hearts versus the nut flush draw in and over. So certainly we could just get this going. He could call or check raise, and he does call, and a card that is going to make Mama feel more comfortable. And Adamo with 5-10 in the middle, A7 suited. There are some draws he's even beating. Does he just check back, take the free one? No. Decides that his hand's strong enough to be betting here.
He's going to go small, big, I believe. I mean, Sherlock can't really. I mean, he can raise, but I don't really like the flop raise because Adamo still has all the better 10s, and the queens. Wow, Adamo shut down. Interesting. So Adamo can rep like King Jack and a queen there. I guess he just thinks that Sherlock's never folding a queen and maybe not folding a 10. Sherlock could have King Jack as well. I was expecting Adamo to go small shove there, so I'm surprised he checked back, but makes sense.
Yeah, Adamo being patient now. He's got his man in a tough spot, but still 2 million to 12.5, so it's not over. Not over. 2-8, Queen 5, no one with the pair, as we said. Making a pair is hard, so all the more reason calling with the pair and some key blockers is a reasonable play. Mama back up to 2 million, has the best hand here on the turn. Will check back, does have a winner if he can get to showdown. Adamo, both players, look at this, 13 and 10 seconds on the chess clock. Nick, both live exactly the same.
I've never ran out of my time bank at an FT ever.
It's rare. It's rare to see anyone.
Yeah, it just shows the spots and the decisions. I mean, the chess clock is awesome at these FTs that you can really use it to your advantage when you need. Yeah, I was gonna say Adamo could limp this hand and call. He could min raise call. He could shove. But I mean, this is a pretty great hand heads up. So people like taking a hand like King 10 suited or King 9 suited and taking it to trap or limp. What a great turn.
Yeah. Yeah, so he does check back and for Mama now, that is a decent run out, right? Everything misses and the ace pairs. So see, does Adamo just doesn't bet now? I'm a little surprised he didn't bet the turn, but I guess he just figures he's got so many outs. He doesn't want to give the guy some courtesy chips in the spot to give Mama Sherlock. Are you surprised to see him not bet and go for it there? Or do you think
super surprised? I thought he's going to go 2/3 or 3/4 on the turn and follow through in the river. He's definitely adjusted a little bit heads up and is just playing a little more cautious, a little more small ball. I mean, he's definitely shifted to just a value strategy of like not bluffing and he value bet pot with his top pair, you know? Check calls here with queen high with the best hand. Turns the flush draw. This is not a great card for Sherlock to bet, right? I mean, he could still have some 9x, but Adamo has a lot of 9x here, check calling.
Yeah, what about a blocker bet from Adamo, like 120, or just check better? Let's see, he does check.
Wow.
It's the showdown.
Queen high, yeah. I guess Sherlock just thinks he has a 4 and is not going to fold.
Ooh, tens, king deuce, still likely going to be limping on this stack depth. Does limp, and Mama certainly want to get some more chips in the middle with tens. Such a strong hand, heads up. You know the computer hand, Nick. I would lay 20-1. You know what the computer hand is and heads up, right? You got to know. There's no way you don't know.
Queen 7 off, right?
Yeah, queen. There it is. I might actually give it 80-1. Yeah.
What? The limb shove.
Whoa. Not sure about this, but let's see. Tens to king deuce, the heart for a sweat. Deuce of hearts for the real action card there. I mean, this is too much. Is it just his day? No, it's not going to come in that way, at least. Tens make it straight. We got more poker to play, Nick. Not quite time to go.
Yeah,
shout out to Beggs.
I mean, Sherlock has been very solid with his ISOs out of position there.
That was surprising.
I thought king 2 off was a perfect limp fold hand. I was impressed with the discipline that he didn't like jam like 14 blinds with king 2 off, which I've seen Adamo seemingly do. I was not expecting the limp jam.
And here he goes, going to work with queen 8 off, going to go kick it up. And shout out to Tim Beggs Clutch. You guys, Bill Chappell, you play a lot back in the day. Said hi to you, Nick. I don't know if you've
talked with him in a long time. It's been a long that name. Yeah, man, I remember him. What a great dude. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I just was just texting with him before the show about you were coming on today, and he said to say what's up, and maybe he's tuned in, maybe not. He loves watching poker and playing. It's a great game, but yeah, you guys battle a lot back on the online heyday for sure.
Yeah,
I know that
sure. What's he doing now?
He's in New York City. He's got a son, and he's keeping busy, man. Keeping busy. Works at Condé Nast and does some cool stuff that way. But yeah, Tim always a good time, always fun, and he definitely loves his poker. Creative player, that's for sure. Always had some creative lines.
Definitely.
10 deuce, 7-4. 7-4 speeding. 10 deuce. One of those spots, hard to make a pair, hard to fold, doesn't. 7-4 has a lot of work to do if wants to win the hand, would take a lot of blasting, but at the same time, 10 deuce pretty vulnerable. Definitely could, right? Definitely a spot could shell one more, get a lot of stuff to fold here. Does it. Good sizing too. Big sizing. Going to be almost impossible for Adamo to call here. Well, the dangerous game to play the guessing game with Adamo. And does Mama
heads up? He says, "Bro, I got bottom pair. You're polarized to a queen or nothing. I call you."
In the shot clock, both players at 4 seconds on the dot, 5 and 4. Pretty wild. That's a highlight. That's a highlight hand. Definitely a highlight hand. There's some special ones today, but look at this. We might have 0 time on the shot clock. Both players. They still take a little bit of time in certain spots, a little bit here and there, in 4 seconds. So it'll be interesting if we go 0-0. This could be history, and what a way to do it for season 2023 episode 1, getting off with a very fast start and some cool hands. So 7-4, 3-9. Adamo almost not over. 12 mil, 3 mil, 12 mil, 3 mil.
And Sherlock's got to be just shaking in his boots right now. He's just like, what am I going to do? Like, I just have to have the best hand. Like, I'm betting 2/3, 3/4 pot, and the guy's calling me with bottom pair with 10 deuce off on ace king 10 jack. Like, you got to feel like, okay, I just got to be patient and wait for a hand and just hope I hold. Just pray that I hold. Like, and he's getting against some good hands, heads up. I mean, the only thing, honestly, the only thing I don't like, I mean, Adamo played awesome. I don't like that king 2. That's above my level of understanding. Maybe he's got some read that Sherlock is ISOing much wider, heads up out of position than he actually is. Sherlock gonna limp shove this one. Yeah, well, nice play. I mean, I think ace 2 off is obviously a lot stronger there. You just block more of the value, and you can make wheels and stuff than the king 2 off. But maybe I'm just being results oriented because of the hands they had. I think also Adamo is going to ISO a lot wider from the big blind as the big stack. versus Sherlock was ISOing off of a shorter stack out of position. So I think his range is a lot tighter.
Yeah.
5 ball. Adamo's targeting a 9 or a 4 here with the overbet, and it's not going to work. It looks like it's going to be 10 million to 4 million at least.
Ace, deuce, 2, 3, and man. Hey, it's never over till it's over. Never
Not.
over 4.5. I mean, he's back in it.
GG's got a real name Mama Sherlock for me. They got to do it. He's been playing high stakes for a while. They got to real name him. I'm too curious.
2 seconds, 4 seconds. Clock is low. 6, 7, going to be blasting and get it done.
Yeah, 2/3 pot. He's got the backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. It's a good just one and done sizing and fold out Atomos Jack high.
King 7, 8, 3. A lot of limping. It's sort of, I feel like the limping becomes more prevalent at deeper stacks. You used to see it when guys got shorter, 10, 15 blinds, but you do see kind of more limps. I feel like heads up, seeing that happen more often. The blinds are 71-40 right now. Players have some chips, so what's 30 blinds to 70 or 60 plus? I mean, what 8.4 is 60. So yeah. Healthy, a little bit of health here. Some heads up we'll get to see for the title. Mama Sherlock coming back. Hope you're enjoying. Let us know where you're watching from. 3,000 on. Watching with us today, kicking off this new 2023 season.
Shows you like if you think about like a pathway, there's so many different pathways to victory, right? Like Sherlock bluffed the ace 4. He raised folded the best hand, the ace jack to ace 4. If he made it, maybe he calls there and maybe Yuri would have sucked out on him. You know,
Yeah.
like we just never know. But there's so many different pathways to arrive heads up or at the win. You know, Adamo didn't necessarily need, if he didn't shove the king 5, right? He might have just steamrolled the whole final table with the distribution he's got, but he got himself short, but he was still covered and it was able to come back. And it's just some of these guys were dealt to lose. Some of them are, you know. Adamos had him down to 1 million a couple of times, so nice job by Sherlock to not give up and hold his own here. I like how Mama's played heads up. He's played very well. I haven't seen him make a single mistake heads up.
Yeah, I mean, that's also interesting. The heads up is such a different format, and it's the one we get to practice and play the least. Even players that win a lot or get heads up a lot just doesn't happen that often. So you just never know, right? A guy could have a good background in cash playing heads up. He could be very well studied or practiced. And, you know, it's even very possible Adamo, who is a household name and so many results, this player could have more experience or even be one of the best heads up players in the world. We just don't really know.
Yeah, it's just a huge advantage. I mean, think about how much information and videos out there are on Adamo's hands, and Adamo has no idea who Mama Sherlock is, right? Like it is playing a bit blind. GG recently did a screen name change, allowed people who had screen names to change to a different screen name, and it's a huge advantage for the players with the screen name to be anonymous. Adamo has no idea if this guy's a heads up specialist, like what his background is, what he knows about Adamo. And Adamo's just like, cool, I'm an open book. Everybody's seen me play on 1 million live streams. There's like videos on YouTube of people breaking down Adamo, trying to break down his tendencies, how to exploit him. Like I saw a video of like, this is how you beat Adamo. This is how you exploit him, you know? It's just, it's not exactly a level playing field, but.
Yeah, well, it is, this has been a fairly long show. I think, what do we got? So it's, what's the, I don't actually need to know the record. I'd love to know a clock on the longest show. It's about reasonable. What's the longest one you think you've seen?
I don't
Like
know. I
what
don't
I'd say
know.
is hard to say.
I've never really timed them. This one's 2 hours and 25 so far.
Yeah, it's not that long actually. This is about right. I'd say it's about average. I'm getting confused with the time zone a little bit, but yeah, it's about right. And this could have been over for sure. I mean, look, it was a huge lead
Yeah.
heads up, and now we're kind of evening out
Yeah.
as well. So could be a while longer. But I'm excited. It's fun. I love watching heads up too. It really is. It is fun to watch. We did announce the giveaway winner. It's $100. Congrats to I mentioned Big Sexy Spitfire 69 on GG. Your name. You will get $100 in your account.
For people that don't know, I'll give GG a little plug as well. They're running this Jackpot Millions. Do you know about this, Jeff?
Which one in particular? I know that
The bounty Jackpot Millions on GG. So like all of the tournaments, $500 and lower, they have this jackpot effectively where you can win up to $1 million. They have a little banner on the top right screen where if you bust somebody in a tournament $500 or below, $4.99 and below, you can this banner comes across the screen and you can win like this bonus jackpot anywhere from like $1,000 up to $1 million. And they've given away $3 million prizes in a $50 tournament, an $80 tournament, and a $100 tournament or something. So 3 guys that were sitting there playing a $50 buy-in just were busted somebody and won $1 million. The way that they pay for that is they take money, a certain percentage out of every prize pool, like a set fee, like an extra rake into this bounty prize pool. And right now the bounty jackpot's at 3.2 million. Wow. In there. So it's pretty cool for anybody's, if you're grinding low stakes or whatever. Obviously there's like that degenerate gambling dream that like you could be playing a $20 knockout or a $50 knockout and win $1 million. That is really fun. It's almost like a mystery bounty kind of thing, but it's a much more, it's been spread out over months. And it's very smart for knockouts because it incentivizes people to not just get the knockout now, but hey, there could be this extra little bonus scroll underneath the jackpot or underneath this bounty. So it's a wow, the overbet here with the blocker and river top pair.
Such a sick card to hit. Everything misses. 7x clubs. And he does get the call. And we have got ourselves a new chip leader, Nick. This is absolutely crazy situation.
I can't believe Adamo called there, really. I mean, the overbet, Sherlock has just been weighted towards value hands with his bigger bet sizings. And I mean, yeah, some of the draws missed, but like, I don't know. That just didn't feel bluffy. Obviously, I can see the hands, but Adamo beat some naked 7x that misses, like some queen 7, jack 7, these kind of hands. But man, Adamo has no time bank, obviously, so he had to call pretty fast.
Yep, here he's got the ace of spade and ace high on a queen deuce 2 spade board. Definitely not folding there. So let's see if Mama wants to kind of keep shelling or just put down and buy himself a river card, which he does. Ace 4 does have the best hand still. 600 in the middle as a spade. This does check. And 2 seconds and no time bank. So they effectively have no time bank. 2-1. Yeah, I think he's got himself a winner, Adamo. They're literally tied. This is like, you can't get closer. 7.4, 7.2. Basically 7. Yeah, it's essentially tied. Ace 10, 6, 8 here. And we are not, no guarantee, no trophy handed out yet. This one's wide open. And look at this. Gonna step into it. And
okay,
I mean, it's a whiff, but if you're gonna be 3-betting 6-8 off, maybe just, is this the board where you could just give up? I don't know. The ace of heart, ace 10, one of those hands where Adamo actually, isn't like fist pumping, given the action, but
yeah, I mean, having the ace of hearts is so cool, that turn for him. Just such a good turn. Is that 840?
Yeah, he's got to make sure he doesn't fold. He has no time. 0 time bank on his clock.
And he just had additional 5 seconds. What was the additional little 5 seconds?
That every time it's on you, you get to like act, and then it gives you 5 seconds to act.
Oh wow!
I think is how it works. But wow. So he makes the 8 of hearts, and then Adamo makes.
He's about like 2.1, 2.1 on the river.
All of it. Wow. Wow. I mean, yeah, I guess Mama There's no time. 1 sec. Oh, he calls. It just, I mean, just the way you don't think it's gonna end, it does. After an epic comeback.
I'm just thinking myself.
Insane. Wow, Michael Adamo, he does ultimately get his name on the trophy today. He's 1 of 9, 6 of 6, the short stack into the chip leader, and then massive lead, down, slight deficit, and well, I mean, really saw it all today, Nick. And again, the season 2023, episode 1, absolutely so much fun, man. Appreciate you being here. Any takeaways? Give me a highlight hand, a moment, anything stand out, learnings, thoughts?
I mean, just great game, Mama Sherlock. I mean, that was awesome, but I guess he couldn't beat the best. You know, it's time. Couldn't do it. No, the takeaway, honestly, the highlight hand was Adamo's King 9 of Diamonds on the river, or just that hand against Yuri. Just such a difficult spot for Yuri to do anything. He opens the button, he c-bets small on the flop, he checks back, he backdoors into a wheel. His opponent checks to him twice, and just the foresight for Adamo to check the turn, not lead the river, and when he check raises, choosing the huge sizing and somehow finds Yuri with the perfect hand to call. That's just such a movie hand. Really
insane. So much fun. And of course, as we like to say, you got to beat the best. That's what we do every week here. Someone's going to win. There will be trophies handed out. And of course, the super ranking is up, and we will have a leaderboard for the super ranking throughout the entire season of 2023. This was episode 1. And Nick, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate the time. Everyone at home, 3,000 plus watching. Congrats to the winners of the giveaway. And of course, the hand up every week. You guys can try to hit that jackpot on the posted link within YouTube. So thank you so much. Cheers, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, man. Take care.